folks. We are Chuck full here, and we have Chuck Dixon. How's about that? How's about them apples, as they say? Good morning, everybody, and happy birthday to Andre and Chuck this week. So, yes, we got two people celebrating here. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Andre. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Greetings, everyone. Glad to be here. Glad to see all my friends here. Glad to see Chuck here. Welcome, James. And also, Chuck, belated happy birthday. I mean, like yours was a few days ago. Mine technically isn't until tomorrow, but now is when we have the opportunity to stream. So, yeah, close enough for a joint birthday stream then. And which is funny because, Tom, you share a birthday with Tom Conkle.
I do. And what were you saying, Paul?
Yesterday was mine.
Wow. It was not.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
You didn't tell us?
I don't.
Again, belated happy birthday.
It's a triple birthday. Paul is
birthday
like 108.
It's not something that I talk much about.
That's why, because you're 108.
Correct.
Oh, wait, now you'd be 109. So.
Well, we then have a triple birthday stream in addition to Week in Review. Hell, we even have a
Charlie Chaplin
series announced.
Although he's old, so Charlie Chaplin
is his
the
birthday.
16th of April.
Well, that I was not aware of. So happy birthday to you as well. So we have triple birthday here this week. Today
Charlie couldn't make it to our stream today. I'm sorry.
Nah, he's a little busy.
Yeah, no, on account of.
But he had this to say.
He's finding a clip.
No, that was it. That's what he had. Chuck got it. I got it.
Well, of course, there was that speech in The Great Dictator.
I know. But he's like the original Silent Bob. He talked once. You know? Anyhow, but yes, good morning, Paul. And Chris we have here from Bleeding Fool. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Since it's no one's birthday today, I guess that means there's no cake. So
it's a very merry birthday to everybody.
It's also Jennifer Garner's birthday today.
Is it her today? Okay, well, we'll celebrate her birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Glad everybody's here. Boy, we've got a real A-team of guests here today. This is awesome.
I get to be Mr. T.
Do it.
I pity the fool who don't eat my cereal.
Does that make me face because I don't have one?
Yes.
Yeah. And I stole that line from Pee-wee. But that, of course, that voice you heard without a face is a Script Doctor. How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here to celebrate wonderful birthdays with these wonderful gentlemen and my friends here. I'm glad you came around the sun one more time and to have many, many more returns.
Yes. And last but definitely not least, and maybe not even last, because who knows who I sent the link out to this morning? Who knows who's going to show up? Archcast, how you been, my friend?
Hello. Thank you for having me, and congratulations with all of the birthdays going around, too.
Indeed.
A lot of
Thank
them.
you.
Aries rock.
We now all know when a lot of people like to get down because of all the children that are born this week.
So what was 9 months ago?
Summer. It was summer 9 months ago.
Oh, see, like in Wisconsin, it's usually you have summer babies because they or spring or summer because they get down in the winter and the fall usually. But
well, it's a lot of 4th of July celebrations is usually.
I can understand that in other places,
Yeah. And July is a time for celebrations and just having fun, getting down, regardless of where in the world you are. So, yeah.
This is true.
I think they should check the births after massive NASA rocket launches.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, especially among NASA employees.
There's some joke entendre there somewhere.
Yes. Millions of pounds of thrusts urging her to
I was going to say. Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
To the moon and back, really. It's just
That's funny because I actually just watched one of Andre's favorites, speaking of going to the moon, because I was reminded, that Ryan went to the moon, to outer space before in First Man.
Yep.
So I finally watched that movie for the first time this last
Yeah,
week.
that was amazing, wasn't it? It's one of the best scores there's ever been put to film.
I paid attention to that because you had pointed that out. I was like, it's not a bad score.
Yeah.
So yes, but we're here celebrating some birthdays, but we're also going to talk about some stuff that Chuck's got going on, and all of the fun stuff going on at Cinemacon, because yesterday we got some Avenger news. We got, what else was there? Some Star Wars stuff, Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was the He-Man trailer break.
Oh,
or
and
preview
the
trailer.
ladies
Dude.
only or ladies first trailer for the Netflix movie with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh,
was
yeah.
hilariously awful.
Oh my, I didn't see
In a
that one.
future where women run everything. Wait, that's now.
Yeah. But before we get into any of that, there are two things that I want to
Yes.
run with Chuck. Before we get to that, though, we have a couple of super chats. We
A
have to
very
go through
generous
right away.
one.
Packing
Whoa.
Proton sending 300 smackaroos. Wow, thank you.
100 for each birthday. See, it worked out.
Perfect. Saying a mission for Polly, Paul, and Script Doctor. You must live stream Birdemic, Shock, and Terror, and then do a post discussion on how to make it a better movie, which may be impossible. Careful streaming, though, been known to copyright strike. So yeah, Birdemic.
Oh.
I've never even heard of it.
You never heard of Birdemic?
No.
2008.
Yeah, it was like I think it was sci-fi or something like that. After that Birdemic thing happened.
Okay, right.
It's one of those
yeah.
bad Sharktopus type movies.
Sharknado. Yeah.
One that was like riding the bird flu wave that they used to take
Yes.
away from the Iraq War, right?
Hitchcock already
Yes.
did it.
You're
Tippi
not
Hedren.
wrong. And they actually did it again with The Birds 2, Land's End, which was just as bad. So like, is this probably. But I can't wait to hear what Paul, and Script Doctor have to say about Birdemic, Shock, and Terror.
You will not hear anything from me.
Well,
We'll
we
be
have to
waiting a
pay you
long
now
time.
to do it.
I mean, all I'll say this is that it will be an intentional comedy if we were to make it better.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, we all rewrote Cocaine Bear about 20 times better
Yeah.
than it turned out. But yeah.
Well, it's not difficult to take that movie and make it better.
Right. Well, Paulie's not here this morning, but he's the popular in the super chats here, in the member chats. Hypergiver says, I just can't wait for Paulie to defend Camila Mendez for tanking any interest for fans of Motu for toxic masculinity bullshit. Sorry, bro. Oh, we're going to talk about some of Motu here in a little bit.
Man,
Yeah.
they were happy she opened her mouth.
Well, the movie itself has got some issues. Andre and I will probably break that down because we're some of the only few that are in that right perfect age range to realize what's going on here. I'm not happy. I was right from what I said months ago. DCV Titan says, bang, zoom straight to the moon, Alice. That's right. One of these days, Alice, one of these days. Well, what is today? Today is Friday, and we're going to talk about some stuff. What do you want to start? Where do you want to start with this? Because Andre, you said you had a few questions for Chuck, actually.
Indeed, I want to start with a question for Chuck that is not related to the news, because we have plenty news that is current. But there was a story from a few weeks ago relating to the Rambo prequel, which was made by production company Millennium, who obviously have the Rambo movie rights, which means they can do whatever they want with them because it's their show to run. Now, if they're clever, they want Stallone to be in on the action and give his stamp of approval. And since they're doing a prequel, if they're really clever, they're going to realize there already is a prequel to Rambo. It was written by Chuck Dixon, and it's well worth checking out. But Chuck, the most recent development here is that Stallone, he basically gave his endorsement of the movie. He did a video, so I can only assume that some kind of deal must have happened behind the scenes where Stallone gets some level of say or something like that, because now he has given it his stamp of approval, which means that it has a new lease on life. What we don't know, though, is exactly what story they're going with. Chuck, do you know anything about this? And implied being, if you know anything, they're using your story because you would know.
No, I mean, I know what you know. I wasn't told anything ahead of time. I didn't know this was coming. I mean, I heard about it as the news leaked out. As far as Stallone's involvement and what deal was made, I know he had like not a great relationship with Millennium, even while he was making the Expendables movies, but he's in a far better position now to make deals than he was then. with his own production company being highly successful. So I'm sure some kind of a deal was struck. I think I would have heard from him if they were using material from the comic. And if they do, as I told you before the show, I trust Sly. If there's a reason why I need to be taken care of, I will be taken care of. He'll see to that because I have his trust. But I'm a Hollywood outsider by choice. I don't want to know how the sausage is made. I don't want to be involved in these things. But I will say that the prequel, almost everything that happens in the prequel, are things that were told to me by vets who were there. And I just sort of combined them into Rambo's story.
And you said you also ran it all by Sly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he read the script before we went to art, and he signed off on it.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I Andre brought up an interesting point, too, or you did as well, and that is that, he's in a much better position now than he was years ago. And, well, one of the main reasons is on screen right now with Tulsa King.
Well, I mean, he's a true player, and he's made some profitable films through Balboa recently. So, and he's got a lot more on the way, which I'd love to tell you about, but I can't.
Well, we hope that we get to hear about him soon.
Independent of Tulsa King, Sly isn't hurting Chuck, is he?
Oh no.
Do we have to set up a GoFundMe for him?
No.
Okay, just wanted to know.
He even sold his house in Bel Air for an asking price. So he's doing all right.
Yeah, but he moved.
Hey Chuck,
anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
You did another graphic novel with Sly, didn't you?
Yeah, Expendables Go to Hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now there's a sequel worth making.
Now that's what they should have made as part 4, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say I really enjoyed part 4 myself, but I watched the hell out of that as part 5.
What movie did you fucking watch, Andre?
A Jason Statham movie. I watched a Jason Statham movie starring Jason Statham in a standard Jason Statham story, dispensing some Jason Statham on a bunch of people that need to be Jason Statham.
I thought it was one of the worst Jason Statham movies
of the Expendables. The thing is that it wasn't an Expendables movies; it was a Jason Statham movie.
I understand that, but
yeah, that's why I like it.
He's become a verb.
That movie, they basically G.I. Joe'd fucking Stallone in the first 10-15 minutes, and then they bring him back at the end. And in the middle, you're right, it's a crappy Christmas story, which is what the original script was. And I didn't think it was very good. I'm sorry. I thought that he deserved much better than that. But hopefully a fifth movie gets things back on track, because I did hear rumors they are doing a fifth Expendables.
I just hope that Millennium are able to just stand out of the filmmaker's way, because that's the best chance the movie has at being any good. Because we've spoken about Avi Lerner, the man who runs Millennium, before, and well, you can just go back and watch our earlier Conan coverage, the interviews we did with Fredrik Malmberg for some behind-the-scenes stories. There are more. I'm not going to tell them unless Malmberg gives me the approval to share them. I'm just going to say that that's the powerhouse that gave us the most recent Red Sonja after 20 years of trying.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious to see how they get Bulgaria to stand in for Vietnam.
Close-ups, lots of close-ups.
Lots of close-ups.
Lots of close-up and lots of shopping at the local plant stores. So
they have
close-ups.
They have a greenhouse over there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I remember they used to use Hawaii all the time instead. Made more sense.
Yeah,
but Avi Lerner doesn't have a studio in Hawaii.
I think the only one who was dumb enough to ever even go over there was probably Francis Ford Coppola. Even then, I don't think he even got in Vietnam. I think he got close, like, what was it, Cambodia and stuff like that, but I don't think he got...
No, Boys and Company C, Siege of Firebase Glory, a lot of them were shot in the Philippines.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah.
And
Stanley Kubrick just stayed in England.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that movie, the thing is it's not even really a Vietnam movie, and I feel like it's two movies.
Yeah.
Because once you hit that midpoint, the climax is in the middle of the movie, and then the rest of the movie just kind of meanders in Vietnam. You're just kind of like, this is not a good movie now. It was great, and then you should have ended it there.
I'll tell you, every Marine combat vet from Vietnam I've ever met said that is the most accurate Vietnam movie they've ever seen.
Yeah, I've
Which
heard
one?
that, and it's great, but it's almost like you buried your lead with that. Like it should have almost like been a. They should have done the back end stuff up front, and then had the other stuff been as a flashback, and the climax being the pile scene, because that's kind of where the movie comes to a huge boiling point, and then from there it's kind of a.
Now, wait a minute. Kubrick's not here to defend himself, Tom.
I
so,
know, but it's it's a great film. Don't get me wrong, and Kubrick's a great.
Great.
I will
artist,
say that R. Lee Ermey, so on point. If you've ever served in the military, been in boot camp, I was in the Navy. He was 100% accurate. They never choked. I never got choked by my CO, but he
Well,
was spot on.
you would have if you had been there at the time when the movie takes place,
maybe.
probably.
Yeah, maybe so.
Now, Tropic
a different
Thunder
time.
was shot in Hawaii. It looks
I think
pretty
so.
good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And then before we move on, I have one more question for Chuck before we get into the major news of today. This one actually involves Arch. Dark King says for $2 there is still no evidence linking Arch to Epstein.
Are we sure?
That
So
is
yeah,
true.
quite a few of our countrymen, including our hoe, that's going to be our queen, is linked to Epstein in many different ways. How were you able to hide your tracks, Arch?
I credit this to Sargon, who was also confirmed to not be connected to Epstein in any way. So I can only assume that he covered my tracks and the flight logs, etc. Otherwise, maybe in the other 8 million documents that will eventually be released.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for them. Oh, I'm eagerly awaiting that. It's going to be so much fun. Going to be so many
Andre,
more videos.
I'd love to
watch
ask
about.
Chuck one more question if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
Speaking of military, you've got Chuck. You guys are crowdfunding a Two-Fisted Manly Tales military story. Is that right?
Yeah.
Who's the artist on that?
It's Butch Geis, assisted by Rick Burchett and Eduardo Barreto. But it's
Rest
largely
in
a
peace,
Butch Geis show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That campaign's doing really well. I think you're going to do well with it. Only a week left, right?
Yeah. And I think next Thursday it shuts down. So yeah, we're in good shape.
Good. Looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Butch. I mean, how do you go wrong with Butch Geis?
No. He always delivered, and delivering this was a real passion project. I remember when we presented it to DC, and they were hemming and hawing and slow walking us, and because they wanted him to do other stuff,
Oh
and
yeah.
he said, you either green light this or we'll take it to Dark Horse, and so they did it. So it's all down to him.
yours.
It got done.
And it's yours.
Yeah, we own it. It's creator owned.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Indeed. And then the second question I wanted to bring Arch in on. Now, Arch, as myself, you are Norwegian, which means that statistically, the superhero, for lack of a better word, that you statistically are most likely to have read and enjoyed while growing up was the Phantom. Is that true in your case?
I did read The Phantom. I particularly enjoyed the World War II special where he was fighting the Japanese. That was my favorite.
Nice one. Yeah. The reason I bring this up is because Chuck actually has written for the Phantom, and only today, April 17th, Variety posted the exclusive that the Phantom is getting a live action TV series from filmmaker Reginald Hudlin, coming from King Features, which again is relatively neutral. But Chuck, any thoughts on this? Having worked on the Phantom, do you see the potential here? Do you have any?
Well, before we go, where are you putting the extra H there? Andre, we need to deal with this.
Which H are we referring to?
The Phantom. Is this like the lisping version?
He always calls it that. I don't know why.
Well, no, this is you're dealing with a non-native English speaker version.
And I don't really tend to correct him unless it's way off.
Well, I just don't want our
The Phantom. Better?
Yeah, I feel much better now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
You
Lord.
Norwegian kipper eaters.
That's Swedish.
The most interesting thing, though,
What
about
difference does it mean to me? You all look the same.
Well, yeah. To be fair, we could be the same country anyway. So yeah, can't really
Very
blame you.
jingoistic.
Yo,
Paul. Thank you.
fjord fuckers.
oh, there goes that clip. But no, like the Phantom here, the thing that strikes me as odd here is the director. Do you know who Reginald Hudlin is?
Nope.
Yes, I do.
You do, but I was curious if anybody else does.
Rings a bell.
I'm curious to what Script is going to tell us, because Script obviously has the inside track on maybe not all of this, but certainly on Hudlin. So do share.
So he's most famously known for doing House Party.
Ah,
He is also part owner of Milestone Comics and has written for Black Panther and a couple of other titles as well recently.
Yeah, he also directed Boomerang for Eddie Murphy, Ladies Man, House Party. Of course,
So we can make an assumption here.
Please.
Posse. I know where you're going with this.
It'll be different. Yeah, I mean, when you're a fan of a franchise, the last thing you want to hear is they're going to make a Hollywood production out of it. It's like, please leave my beloved characters alone.
we should paraphrase Reagan's old saying, "We're from Hollywood and we're here to adapt your product."
Don't resist.
Don't resist. This comes for all you youngsters out there. Reagan's famous line was, "We're from the scariest phrase in the world is we're from the government and we're here to help." That's where that weak joke comes from.
It doesn't apply domestically. It also applies internationally.
So you think he's going to turn the Phantom into the House Party?
The Femton.
Yeah.
I have a hard time dealing with the Phantom in the modern era. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a costume guy. He had no powers. I mean,
Right.
Well, the beauty is you don't have to deal with the Phantom in the modern era, because as Chuck will know, there's 21. Actually, there's 22 Phantoms to go with, because you have the 21 first, and then you skip straight to the 24th, which means that you can have a setting anytime in the last 500 years if you so choose. Like, for instance, the 1996 movie. Rather than do the contemporary take, they set that movie. They did it a period piece, and they set it in the same time frame as the original comic strip actually came out in 1936. Yes, 1936.
Right.
So the comic strip is 90 years old this year, which means that the Phantom predates both Batman and Superman. And all other superheroes for that sense, because he's kind of like this transitional character between the pulp era and the comic book era.
he also started in the radio era.
Yeah, never had a radio play though, but yes, that was the era. So when the Shadow was in the air, was on radio waves, the preparations were being made for the Phantom. So yeah, that's the era from which the Phantom hails.
Hey, I'm all for that. I mean, I would rather see another Captain America set in World War II again.
Yeah,
but I'm sure he'll be fighting imperialism somewhere.
Well, I mean, if you have him if you have him, like, say, in the late 1800s, him fighting, illegal slavery, that makes sense, and that works perfectly.
Yeah, but they won't be Arab slaves, like slavers. I can guarantee that.
Right, like
which he actually did do in the comics.
Yeah. I mean, Tarzan was always fighting Arab slavers in the comics too. I mean, it'll be a bunch of British actors collecting slaves. So
that's very historically inaccurate.
Yeah, there's not really much info here on what the kind of take is going to be or anything like that.
Yeah. I would say I'm not too surprised though, because I had a feeling this was coming. A Phantom video is in the making, because they did something in the comics, the canon ones, which are the newspaper strip. They went back and they changed his origin. Now, I don't know exactly how they changed his origin, But they did something to change the origin story of the first Phantom. And my feeling then was this is probably a corporate order coming straight from the Hearst Foundation, which is the ultimate rights owner here, probably because they are setting up some other media thing. And lo and behold,
that it goes into public domain in like a couple of years too, doesn't it?
I don't.
2032 on that.
That's what I was thinking.
Then they still have time. But if they want to reap, now is the time to sow.
It's so interesting, these copyrights to and public domain, because internationally, it's actually 70 years after the creator dies, right? So in the US, it's 95 years after something's first published.
Right.
And in Australia, it's even harder. And actually, it's interesting because Australia, the Phantom is wildly popular in Australia.
It's the single biggest market these days.
As soon as you guys said he's been around for 90 years, that's the first thing that popped in my head is, he's going into public domain soon.
Yeah, right.
So that's why they're cashing in as much as they can now. So, yeah.
Maybe
but even from my own experience, even if it is public domain, they'll still hit you with a cease and desist and threaten to court. So,
ask Disney about that. Yeah.
It's only technically the initial publications of that time that are public domain, because every new publication has its own copyright associated to it.
Yeah. So Superman, there's no Jimmy Olsen, there's no Lex Luthor.
Right. Yeah, I know most of us understand that, but for the audience who don't understand that, there's only certain aspects of characters and things that you can use once they hit public domain, and it all depends on how old they are. So if a character was created later on down the road, that character is not specifically public domain. Like the Mickey Mouse thing, only those first 3 or 4 shorts now are in the public domain. So that's where people are been able to do like Steamboat Willie stuff. But it has to be specific to Steamboat Willie. It can't have any other aspects beyond that. Same thing with, didn't Winnie the Pooh recently go into public domain?
Yeah.
You can't use any of the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Nor would you really want to. But the other part too is that independent publishers in a few years will be able to publish Action Comics #1 without violating any infringement, because that's a public domain book. Just like how I know people who have republished old versions of Robin Hood stories,
Dracula and stuff like
word
that.
for word. They credit the original writer and everything, but it's their publication. They're selling it, and there's nothing that can be done.
I don't think anything should be done. If you've had 95 years to exploit the hell out of that property, now it belongs to everybody. I had this discussion with Randy Zimmerman right now. Do you know Randy, Chuck? He's doing the Atlantean with Russ Leach.
Yeah. I know of him. I mean, it's not like we're pen pals.
No, right.
Yeah.
But Randy, they did a new graphic novel based on the Shadow Kingdom, which is the very first Cole story, which is in public domain. Right. And now they've been putting out a magazine, black and white magazines like Savage Sword, called The Atlantean, and it's a continuation of that original Robert E. Howard story, but it's new stories. And he's never heard from Titan.
Well, I heard from him.
I know you did. I've got 2 of your Conan novels.
Yeah.
So, it's
I'm offering my third.
They weren't ugly about it, were they, Chuck?
No, they weren't ugly. They just real friendly, and they liked my stuff. They said they would publish it, which they haven't. It's been a couple of years, so I've been offering an unproofed manuscript of the 3rd book to anybody who will donate money to St. Jude's Hospital. I can't sell it, but I can give it away.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Oh, you wrote the character for years, right?
Oh yeah. It's like 5 years on Savage Sword.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And when it comes to Conan, I know Conan, and it is my opinion that Chuck Dixon is the top 3rd writer ever to write Conan, second only to Robert E. Howard himself and his de facto apprentice, Roy Thomas.
Yeah.
Agreed. You. Thank you.
Nice work for sure, Chuck.
Yeah. Well, I love the character.
Well,
that's the difference. That's the difference between then and now. This stuff's being done now by people who don't love what they're doing.
Yeah, as a general thing, I know many people who work in Conan right now. They do love what they're doing.
Oh yeah. They're doing
in
good
general.
Stuff. They're doing good stuff.
It,
I gotta say, that's one franchise that's in good hands.
Yeah, it totally is. Absolutely.
It seems to be open season suddenly for creators to come out. Now, you've never been like this, Chuck. I'm not accusing you of this, but suddenly creators are coming out saying, you know, I don't like what they've done with my original work. All these people who have modernized it for the modern audience. Suddenly, I don't know, is the tide turning? Suddenly, all these creators are not afraid to come out and rattle the trees for all this modernism.
Well, I think the fact that they're not making as much money off of it as they used to.
Maybe.
Also, a lot of these creators for years were silent because they thought maybe Marvel or DC might call them, and they realize now, after years of a phone not ringing, that's never going to happen. So they may as well speak up.
Well, Marvel can't afford them anymore, Chuck.
No, they can't afford anybody anymore.
Yeah, it's a dead brand.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Chuck, you mentioned earlier something about this Phantom TV show, worrying about, you know, the joke that Paul made. We're from Hollywood and we want to adapt your property. You've had some Hollywood success with Working Man. How did you think that turned out? I'd love to know what you thought of it.
Well, the book was better.
Yeah, I agree. It's always better. Yeah. Tell us what you thought.
Quite frankly, I was happier with Stallone's first screenplay. I wasn't as happy with some of the changes they made, particularly in the third act. My book was more like a 70s movie than a movie of today. But I understand, they didn't want to do a movie that had a downer ending, but I didn't see it as a downer ending. I thought the movie was more about the story was more about Levon and his daughter than about Levon and the missing girl that he was looking for. So, but they took another tact. But hey, the check cleared. It did well. They're talking about a sequel, so yeah, full steam ahead.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, and Stallone himself, when he adapted First Blood, the downer ending had to go away, and now he had a huge franchise. Right? We're still talking about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they wanted. Yeah. I mean, obviously they could have done the movie the way the book went and still had a franchise, but downer endings scared them.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask Sly, the bigger sorry, I was just say if you ask Sly though, the bigger problem wasn't so much the ending, because of course, famously, as we've talked about before, the original cut of that movie was so bad, according to Sly, he wanted to buy it and burn it. And he said he went back through it and cut out all of his dialogue because it was full of really bad dialogue. Like when, when the cop first comes up on him, he's like, where are you going? Who are you? He goes, you ever heard of Easy Rider? Well, I'm Easy Walker.
Oh my gosh. We're talking about First Blood, right?
Yeah. He said he went through and cut all that shit out. So yeah, it's I guess there was a lot of bad dialogue in it. So yeah.
It's amazing what they can do in editing. The editors are the real artists in Hollywood.
Sometimes that's the case. You're not wrong.
I mean, I've been reading a lot lately about, directors, and, an astonishing number of directors want the editor on set with them.
Oh yeah. Because directors and editors have to work closely together to better refine what the final product is and also get in sync with their vision. Like Scorsese famously would always be with his editor all the time.
Right.
What's horrible about this generation of directors that I've been interacting with is that some of them have a very ambiguous vision of what they want. And they're relying on some of the editors to help refine that, which I would say is you're robbing the agency. The director is giving up their own agency to tell the story.
Right.
Because usually what you want is you want the director to say, this is my story. The editor comes in and says, okay, this is your goal. My job is to make sure that you stay on track for that goal with the coverage and the footage that you're capturing. And then if it's not working, they can massage it together and figure out the gaps and go from there.
And unfortunately, with digital filmmaking, they can film and film and film and film and film. They can film hundreds of hours. Which is unfortunate. We were better off when they were limited to how much they could film.
I agree.
Yes, because it exercises more room for creativity. It's like, okay, we only have a 10-minute mag. All right, we got to make sure that 10-minute is valuable, which gave me some issues with regards to probably another story we'll be talking about when it came to a certain director doing a follow-up comedy and telling the actors, hey, go nuts.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, the one thing I will say about Reginald, in his defense, he's not a younger guy. So he's old enough to where he's probably grown up reading these comics back, not when they were first out, obviously. He's not that old. But you know what I mean? Back, when comic books were in their heyday, in their golden age and silver age, basically. So maybe he's a big enough fan that he will pay loving homage to the Phantom, but I don't want to hold my breath.
Yeah, that actually happened before with the 1996 movie, because that was scripted to be a satire, and the original choice for the Phantom was Bruce Campbell, because they were looking for someone that had like that traditional 30s leading man square, but who was still funny. So you would see the humor in it. And you still have some leftover of that because they didn't really change the script all that much. But you had the director, Simon Windsor, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this guy, he was also an older gentleman, even when that movie was made. And he had grown up reading the comics or the comic book strip, because it's not a regular comic, it's in newspapers. So he had reverence for the source material. So he did his absolute best to turn the scripted satire into an overall decent movie, which is why it only took one fan at it to actually make a really cool movie out of it.
So I don't want to take all the hope out. It may be something good. We'll have to wait and see, though.
We'll have to wait to see. Meanwhile, we have plenty other news from Cinemacon, which is much closer.
So where do you want to start with the Cinemacon news?
Well, I have been otherwise occupied most of this week, so you that have been paying attention, take it away.
Well, do we want to start with He-Man or the Doomsday or...
Let's start with
Spaceballs?
Doomsday.
Okay, so Doomsday, the news coming out of that is that it's really long. They showed some footage, and they're re-releasing Endgame to theaters in October, just before, and they're still committing to this December date, but they're pushing this Infinity Vision for PLF screens. It's basically THX2 is what I call it. Because for those who don't know what really THX is, most people never really knew what THX was. It was a standard that George Lucas had put together, this group of people where they would go into theaters, and if you meet certain standards, you would get a plaque that says, this theater is THX certified. That's what it is. And that's basically what this Infinity Vision is. It's basically about 300 theaters that meet these standards that they're going to have this Infinity Vision in, that you'll get to see the new Doomsday. And then they're pushing this because they don't have IMAX. Right?
I was about to say,
that's the big thing.
This is their replacement IMAX, right? Trying to build a new brand in the year leading up to the movie, because Dune has the exclusivity on all the IMAX screens. So they need to create a brand out of nothing to compete.
Exactly.
It sounds
yes.
like.
It is a bunch of fugazi, if you ask me, because I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, this is all Disney. This is their thing. And they're bringing back Endgame. There's going to be the first movie in this Infinity Vision. And it would make more sense to do Infinity War and Infinity Vision than do Endgame. But hey, that's just me. And they're adding scenes back.
Laughing.
Yeah. And they're adding scenes back into it. But here's my thing. And the first thing I did, and I knew this for a fact, but I double checked. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't this movie a 2K master? So I'm sitting here going, how are they supposed to make this thing look so much better in this Infinity Vision? Like, it's not going to look any better unless they use AI to upconvert it. Because this Infinity Vision almost sounds like they're doing 4K for cinemas, but it's not really at the end of the day. It's just if they meet a certain standard, like I said, like THX.
You know
right, which means that the theaters haven't upgraded or changed anything. The screens are still the same as they are today. They're just now being qualified. Like, again, it's a duck blind, a ruse.
Yeah. Okay. I know a historic precedent for this, where basically you have what you have. It's a given. This is exactly how it is. You just need to find a way to spin what you have that your opponent doesn't. This is blast processing.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those that do not catch the reference, that's how Sega was able to marketing-wise try to overcome the much more powerful Super Nintendo, which came out when the Sega Mega Drive, or that's Genesis in the US, was already several years old. And time goes by in the world of IT. It did so then as well. So the Sega Genesis was far inferior in every single way, technically, apart from one. It had a faster processor. Why on earth the Super Nintendo did not have a faster processor than 3-year-old older hardware is beyond me, but they didn't. So it was able to compute data faster. And so they were able to use that marketing-wise and call it blast processing.
Listen, I can tell you why Nintendo had a slower processor, because that is their modus operandi. The Switch is using an old Tegra. They have never used up-to-date processing except for the 64. Nintendo 64, which I can't remember the name of the computer company that made the chip, was way too advanced, and they learned their lesson from that. So they were never going to do it. This is part of the way Nintendo has always worked. They want the cheapest chip possible so they can make a ton of money off their platform. Now, one thing that you non-techies are missing in this new technology that Marvel wants everyone to use, and that is that Meta has pretty much has been folded. Zuckerberg's Meta, so they've got hundreds of thousands of Oculus headsets sitting around doing nothing. What's going to happen is everyone's going into the theater and they're going to put an Oculus headset on everyone. That's how they're doing it. See, I know I have the inside scoop on it.
I almost don't know if you're kidding or not.
You know what? It sounds almost real. Yeah. So they went through $88
For half a second it took me.
They spent $88 billion to try to get their metaverse working, which I don't know if you guys know anything about. A hilarious virtual world, basically a Second Life, but for businesses.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, I made fun of it the moment that they released the initial promo clips on it. It's just completely stupid.
I can't tell you how many Zoom calls I have with people taking that very, very seriously.
Really?
Buying real estate in the metaverse.
Well, it's done. It's done. It's been killed now.
Right. Thankfully.
And Nintendo, not in Nintendo, but Facebook, Meta now have like a bajillion Oculus headsets that they can't sell. So.
Well,
somewhere Palmer Lucky is laughing.
So what did they get to see at Cinemacon? Well, they got to see a few things from Endgame, or not Endgame, Doomsday. Yeah. The trailer
Some
starts
of which has leaked online.
Yeah, I don't know. Has that been confirmed as real, or?
I think, well, in this day of AI,
that's what I mean.
Who can say?
That's my point.
Saw a clip on it on Twitter, and it looked really AI sloppish.
I think that was an AI bit.
Yeah,
so.
Is that the one which had all the the guy who was fired from the
it had
guy.
Thor fighting Doomsday and something like that.
I saw Steve Rogers and Thor fighting Dr. Doom, but I don't know how.
Yeah, and it was recorded off a screen, but it was really low resolution and stuff, and like the entire composition just looked AI.
It is interesting that Marvel is only now getting to Dr. Doom, who, I mean, you guys who probably know more about this than me, isn't he considered maybe the most powerful villain of all time?
He's probably the most powerful
universe?
and or popular, but the problem was they didn't have the rights for the longest time. Yeah.
They couldn't use him until 2018 because he was with Fox. So he was completely off the limits until then. But why haven't they used him before now? That, of course, is a different matter, because they could have used him before. But
because they dragged their feet on Fantastic Four, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, in the Marvel universe, it's difficult to say who is the most powerful, but he is certainly the most influential I mean, he's the guy who directly inspired Darth Vader. So there's that.
Yeah, he's up there, but I feel like the timing is a bit off because they did Thanos, who is probably, if not the biggest, then one of, like, God level, and with the Infinity Stone. So
I would argue that
Doctor downgrade.
I would argue that Doctor Doom probably is the most well-known, longest running bad guy outside of any Spider-Man villains in the Marvel universe.
No, absolutely
well known. I would agree with.
Doom is the top drawer. He's the great. It's all about Doom at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it also was very convenient because he had the magic thing. So he had plot armor. He could pull out whatever evil machinations that he needed at that very moment to do what he needed to do. And in the following page, you could forget that he actually used that.
Yeah, and he's also the characterization is so deep on Doom. It makes him fascinating. He's this, scientific genius, but he's he's arrogant and everything else, but he's as petty as an elementary school girl.
Yeah, I like the version, the vain one where he's got, he wears the mask because he's scarred, but he takes off the mask and it's just this little scar.
Yeah,
it's like
Zoolander working in the mine.
Yeah, but he can't stand that Reed Richards is undoubtedly a little bit smarter than him.
And he hates that. I mean, and he absolutely can't stand that.
Yes.
Dr. Doom. What was his accent? He was
Latvian.
Latvian.
His mother was a gypsy.
No. Hey.
And some of his motivations to try to save her from the underworld.
We don't call them gypsies anymore. They're traveling whores.
That's much better.
Yeah, that's what his mother was. Tell him that to his face.
Yeah. Horse pulled wagon whores. That's
misplaced people of.
Yeah. Okay, for those that remember the new Nosferatu, there's a sequence there where Hutter encounters some of the local gypsy in Romania. That is where Dr. Doom comes from, basically.
Yeah.
The best part is when that happens, and he's like, they fucking stole his horses. I was the only one in the theater laughing at that.
Yeah. And that also means that the Dr. Doom, he is actually someone where you could cast an Indian actor or someone that looks Indian and get away with it, because that would be ethnically accurate. Because by way of being a Romani gypsy, Dr. Doom should be more so brown than white.
So they got Robert Downey Jr.
Sure.
Yeah, fantastic.
Made no sense whatsoever.
The short white guy.
It's like he couldn't be Iron Man anymore because they couldn't afford him. So they hired him to be Dr. Doom. I don't think
I paid more.
If $200 million.
I was just gonna say, Chuck, that would have made sense had he got a lower paycheck and been like, okay, that's how they got around the contract, is he's playing a different character. But no, he's getting paid like 2 Johnny Depp wages in one movie. It's like, what the hell here? He's now, I think, the highest paid actor in a movie because of this.
And no one wanted to see him as Dr. Doom.
No.
So.
It makes no sense.
There's a comic where they kind of merged Dr. Doom, and this is a very specific Dr. Doom. And it's not, he's not the Dr. Doom. This is the Iron Man Dr. Doom split, which I have no idea why they're going that far into the series. Can anyone enlighten me on that? I mean, why not go with the original Dr. Doom initially?
Yeah. I can make one guess. Or actually, well, it's 1.5 guess. One, they really, really wanted Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
And 2, think back to Avengers Endgame, where you had that threat that was towards the end of or when Hulk was speaking with Tilda Swinton, and they're talking about, if we do this, it might be a multiverse. And multiverse is really, really freaking horrible stuff. Can't deal with that. It's going to be so many horrible, shitty consequences. We haven't really seen any of those horribly shitty consequences because the TVA just prunes away timelines. So now is their opportunity to deliver on that promise and show how everything got messed up. It would just be better off don't do time travel, basically.
Well, hasn't the last 5.5 years been Marvel messing up?
Pretty much.
Totally, but that's not because of the multiverse. That's because they call the mind virus.
No, Andre's right. Yeah, like, because let's be real here. This is what this is going to be. We kind of got a good idea of how this is going to work with the Kang situation. I guarantee you that we're going to have like a multiverse of Robert Downey Jr.'s as different characters in the Marvel universe, and eventually they're going to have to pull a Robert, just like it's going to be basically Deadpool and Wolverine all over again. They're going to have to pull an unanchored, because this is why they said you have to pay so much attention to shit in fucking Deadpool and Wolverine. They're going to pull an unanchored Robert Downey Jr. out of some other universe that never became an Iron Man and didn't have all the connections, and bring him back so we can now have Iron Man back in the sequel. You watch. And then we probably will have a completely different actor play Doom, because that's the other rumor we've heard for a while in Secret Wars. Because I think you're right, Andre. This is not the Doom, right? Like, we're going to see a completely different person, I think, play the Doom eventually. This is just some multiverse bullshit. Because guess who's in this? And this is what the breakdown of the trailer kind of supporting what I'm saying here. We've got, like, Channing Tatum in the trailer as Gambit and stuff. So it's already bringing in people from Deadpool and Wolverine. And I said, don't be surprised if that whole thing about Thor crying because Deadpool's dying coming back in either Secret Wars or Endgame. Or I mean, Doomsday. I keep calling it Endgame. Sorry about that. So I'm like, I'm at this point, like, I kind of have a feeling this is just going to be cameo porn the movie.
I mean, well, that's comic books, for their big event stuff. They've been doing that since the 80s.
Well, I know, but here's the problem. They've already shot their wad 3 or 4 times with this between Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool and Wolverine, and they really fucked it up in Multiverse of Madness. So that's the 3 times they've done stuff with broad multiverse stuff outside of Loki, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I didn't watch that, but there's not much there as far as I know, outside of Lady Loki. But like at this point, they're gonna have to tie everything up by the end of this shit. We all know that. You can't keep sitting in this multiverse shit all the time. You've already shot your wad. So what are you gonna do here? You got to reset the Marvel Universe back where it needs to be. Now, talking about how much money they've spent on this bastard script, you made a good point, and I agree with you. We've talked again and again about how this movie's not going to make the kind of money that it needs to make. I don't think they're worried about that so much as they're worried about winning back the audience. I think Script Doctor is right. They're treating this movie as a loss leader, and that's why they didn't move it.
Oh,
they're
yeah, they don't care.
They're hoping the word of mouth is good. They better hope the word of mouth is good on it anyway.
No, they care as much about making money off of Doomsday as we would care about someone making fun of us for wearing glasses. We don't care. Like, it's just you're not humiliating us on this. This project is directly designed to get people to say, "Oh, Marvel's coming back. I don't trust it, so I'll wait for streaming." And then they see it and they're like, "Oh, I should have seen this in theaters. Maybe I'll go to the next one." That's what they're trying to aim for. Simple arithmetic on that part. Disney may not be making the money that they want on the films, but they're not losing any money because they're not using their own money on these. So it's a win-win for them. It always has been. That's why they keep going. If they were a studio, they're using their own money and really losing at the box office, they wouldn't be a studio anymore. So at this point here, they're just saying, you know what? Yeah, we've been embarrassed because we haven't been making the profits we want to make, but at this point, we don't care. Right now, it's just get the people back so that eventually, if they return for the next 2-3 movies, then we'll get back to being the dominant franchise financially and culturally in Hollywood. That is their goal because it's the reputation more so than the money. Always has been, always will be.
Very good point.
Sage words.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it works out for them.
So yeah, the rest of the trailer breakdown is the trailer starts with a look at Robert Downey Jr.'s green hooded, metal-faced Dr. Doom as he prepares to invade the multiverse. There's a shot of Professor Xavier looking out at his X-Mansion's window at a bright flash of light. Outside is signaling trouble. It's a flood of crossovers. From there, you get Gambit, Shang-Chi, Mystique, and Mystique transforms into Yelena Belova, the Florence Pugh character. And so Florence Pugh gets to fight herself. So I'm sure she got off on that. And then you get Thor.
The only one.
Yeah. And you get Thor and Doom facing off, and Doom catches Thor's magical hammer, Mjolnir, with his bare hands.
Yeah, we saw Hela do that, though.
Yeah. And the biggest moment comes when Chris Evans' Steve Rogers makes his triumphant return and reunites with Thor. The Asgardian is shocked at his Avengers teammates' arrival, given that Cap had gone back in time to grow old with his sweetheart Peggy Carter in Endgame, and passes down the mantle to Sam Wilson. It's still unclear how Cap is back, but he's clearly still worthy enough to pick up the... Again, this is where I think it's going to be a multiverse situation.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're going to be pulling versions out from unanchored multiverses where it doesn't matter where they get pulled out of.
Is there any chance we're going to see this before D23?
Oh, you mean a trailer?
Yeah. This footage.
I have a feeling that this trailer is going to be attached to whatever big Disney movie comes out this summer. So probably Mandalorian and Grogu would be my guess.
That's this month.
I think we're going to see it. Because they've been dropping a lot of the trailers already from Cinemacon. Yeah. And for those who don't know what Cinemacon is, it's not even really a thing for the public. It's for the theater owners where they get to go in and see what's coming out for the next year. And all the, popcorn buckets and all the other bullshit and fancy stuff that goes along with being a theater owner that you can add to your, theater, whether it's concession things or this or that. It's not just the movie parts, but it's basically a trade show. But now it's basically slowly become like the Comic-Con of movie things, and people besides theater owners are going now. And so it's become a bit bigger, but that's what it's supposed to be for anyway. So
that's how it started out.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely to land with Spider-Man, not Grogu. I mean, because the movie doesn't come out till December. That's really kind of burning your...
Maybe. And I know there is that 6-month deal, so you might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right. But because even though it's a Sony production, it is a Marvel one, so they might attach it to that.
Sure.
But
I mean, I think they'll attach it to any Disney movie they can because they want people to buy tickets just to see the trailer.
Yeah.
The second week of Grogu's release, suddenly they're attaching the trailer. We'll see how that goes.
See, that's the thing is they had this deal in place, and we talked about this a few months ago, so I don't remember who all was on the panel when we did, but I'll try to keep it real quick. Like the old way they used to release trailers, they always had like a set thing that they never adhered to. And the theater owners started complaining because the studios started releasing the trailers way too early. So you had a lot of customers asking about movies that weren't coming out for way, way too long. So they decided, okay, we're going to go with the standard we had decided on. And that is no trailer comes out 6 months before the movie. All your major advertising is no more than 4 months before the movie. But they were allowed 1 or 2 big titles a year where they could advertise a year out. So like, that's where I was like, we've been getting a lot of these weird teaser things online that aren't exactly trailers and stuff all the time now because they don't count as trailers. So they're like doing it that way. But yes, it'll be weird because by the time, that's the thing is you would think you'd get a teaser trailer with probably Mando, and then you'd probably get the full trailer with Spider-Man, I bet. I think that would probably be the case.
That would be smart.
Sitting.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Mando needs a shot in the arm for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because they're pulling out all the stops they can to try and help this movie too. Like that's what I can't believe they're not moving it. Like there's no defeat in moving this movie. There's a million ways they could have like spun it to where most of the general public wouldn't have cared or known anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So
at least a 30-second teaser with Mando.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Well, this whatever they showed today, I'm sure will be coming out pretty soon, especially if any of that footage was real that leaked. But anyway, any more thoughts on Doomsday? All right.
We can move on from there. Let's do a couple of super chats before we move on.
Yeah, let's do some, because we got a few here. We got Captain JPS47, who's been a member for 13 months. Captain J, sorry, I missed the J there. Says the only shock and terror there was in Birdemic is how awful the movie was. The worst movie I've ever seen. And I've seen The Room and Manos, The Hands of Fate. Yeah, those are bad. Dark King says challenge for Mr. Dixon. Is he here? Or did he step away?
I'm right here. No, I'm here.
Okay, you're here. Okay, I just want to make sure since you weren't on camera. Write the ultimate Marvel Comics prequel, Thanos: The Hands of Fate. If you know, you know.
that actually is a really, really cool title for a Thanos.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't been yet.
Yeah.
To be.
And I do have to say, though, Jim Starlin's standalone Thanos stories, they're pretty darn amazing.
I can't believe there isn't one issue of the Infinity Saga called The Hand of Fate.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's an opportunity lost right there.
Yeah. And like, yeah, some people would get the inside joke. Dark King says the fentanyl in the Mexican ghost who won.
Would that be the ghost of Beals?
Oh, no.
That's a deep cut right there.
Oh, and Paulie is here, but he's in the chat. He sends in twofer to say, Jefe, feliz cumpleaños, hermano, salud y amor. Y amor.
Yeah. Gracias,
pretty
amigo.
good.
Gracias.
I did pretty good there. Marks117B says, 2 questions for Arch. Are you here, Arch?
I am here, Arch.
Awesome. When more Norwegian news cause it makes me feel better about USA. I think he's asking when. Is there more? That's my question. You got to ask me. Second, how does the creation of a new faction for your game? How goes the creation? Sorry.
Yeah. Before Arch asks that, actually, it's my fault first and foremost because I had some personal circumstances to deal with. Plus, I just moved, as you can tell from the background. More Norwegian news will be coming this week. So much has happened. I mean, we even have fun stuff to report about IKEA, and it's going to be a blast. So that will come before you know it. And then creation of the new faction. Arch, take it away.
Well, hopefully I'll get back to making some more for the Norwegian news section as well. But for the fantasy and the science fiction setting, everything is actually going surprisingly well for a bit now. Everything's flowing. We've got creative juices going, and everyone's very happy. So we're quite pleased with the progress.
Things are juicy.
Yes.
Good to hear. And then we got Valentine Puppy who says, Skull, Andre, Legend, Fante, fucking Christ, Fante Tila, Mendez, plus Opinion.
Yeah, all right. This is Norwegian, of course. It said Skål, Andre, Legend. That's a Skål. That's basically when you drink. Then you drink from the skull of your vanquished enemy.
Yes!
Tradition.
Yes!
Yeah.
I do that after successfully wiping my ass every time.
With the skin of your vanquished enemy. Then, of
with
course.
the skin. That's it. Yeah. You know, your priorities change when you get older. I mean, a good shit is possibly the best thing you could do. And
yeah, the only thing that's better is a good wipe with your flayed
your enemy's skin. That
and the second, this is a little bit like Google Translate, but basically it's fuck the opinion of Mendez on Tila. Now, I guess that this would be, I don't know the details here, but I saw something about Tila and toxic masculinity. So I can only surmise that that must be what this is referring to.
Yeah, she said what was it? I'm paraphrasing, but basically how basically Tila has to deal with being surrounded by toxic masculinity. Then I even think the director had pointed out that Adam has to deal with toxic masculinity as well.
Well, looking at his office where he works in HR and he has to wear his pronouns on the desk, I think it's more likely that he has to deal with toxic femininity.
Yep, there's been a lot of the rumors about that swirling around, which I'm actually quite optimistic for this movie. I hope it'll be good, but it's not very encouraging when they start talking about toxic masculinity.
Well, if they talk about it with regards to the heroes and that they used to be toxic and now they're not, that's a problem. But if you're talking about the villains, because the villains are not people you want as role models, that seems to be more in line with what He-Man is. The problem is how honest are the journalists reporting on the quotes or setting up these actors when it comes to these questions, because they're not the friends of the media and they're not the friends of the audience.
And also the people in the marketing department of the studios, the ones that come up with the talking points that they tell the actors, say this, say this, say this. Sometimes I think they are not the friend of the movie and the studio either. They're friends of their own ideology that they believe. But we've seen this in the past when actors have delivered obvious talking points. And here I'm thinking of Rachel Zegler with Snow White, where what she got a ton of flack for, rightfully so. But you saw Gal Gadot was saying the exact same thing, and they were rushing to speak over each other because they were pushing out talking points that they had been told by the studio to say. And that's the big thing here. And we've seen that before. I mean, even remember, Skeletor was supposedly the embodiment of toxic masculinity. That's where I did a video saying that no, it's not toxic masculinity. It's just pure toxicity. If anything, he's the embodiment of cluster B personality disorder.
Skeletor, which is what they're talking about as toxic masculinity these days. That's the problem. Like they're trying to tailor them together. Yeah.
He's toxic, but I don't know about toxic masculinity. Look, the whole thing with He-Man that's what bothered me is this whole gay allegory shit. And as we have here, is this the gayest He-Man ever? Let's be real. The gayest character in He-Man is Skeletor. He's catty and he sounds like Paul Lynde. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
And he hangs out with fucking Evelyn. Don't give her time of day. Fucking talks shit to all his friends all the time. He is the gayest motherfucker I've ever met.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Exactly. I'm surrounded by nincompoops.
I know. The question is this the gayest toy extension? That's really the right question.
You want me to admit anything? The gayest character on He-Man is fucking Skeletor because
I think it's the tiger. I think it's Battle Tiger.
He calls Randor a boob, and he thinks that's an insult. But people like boobs, so
yeah.
Well, again, that's the gay projection right there, isn't it?
I wonder if she regretted saying that, or she was told afterwards that shut up.
Well, the biggest problem Skeletor has now is he can't say lips or hips. Only hips.
Why is he Shakira or something?
He got no lips. He's a skull. So he can't offer the guys much. So a lot of gay jokes flying here. I thought you'd hit these, Paul.
No,
I mean,
if he doesn't have any teeth, then he can offer men a lot.
No, he's got plenty of sharp teeth.
Yeah.
So let's go through a couple more super chats and then we'll get into the He-Man talk. We got Kelly Kioki in the house. How you doing? Sends in one of two here to say, feel like Marvel is going to implode itself with Doomsday. It's been disclosed that they're already 700 million plus in budget. I reckon more. Script is right. Disney is hoping that this will bring back the audience, and I doubt it will. Wondering if they fired all those people to afford this flop. Yeah, there was a bunch of layoffs.
Yeah, the layoffs have nothing to do with saving costs. It's completely different. Again, Disney is not hurting for cash, despite what people are trying to say. They're fine. They're not going anywhere.
Hollywood itself is in trouble, but
Hollywood's relocated out of California. That's what's it's California that's now in trouble.
Yeah,
more so.
But we'll see. It's all gonna come down to word of mouth. The movie's got to be good.
Yeah.
DCV Titan says, "Has anyone seen Street Fighter trailer?" I have. Has anybody else here seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw that.
I got a thing or two to say about it. Hooray! Ken and Ryu are washed up losers. How expectantly current year. You know what bothered me about that trailer? I like the trailer overall. I kind of like the cheese aspect of it. I didn't really notice this, but you are right, I guess, DCV Titan. I can't believe so.
Character arc, though, DCV Titan. You don't want your heroes to start off perfect because where are they going to go, right? You want them to, fallen from grace and a redemption arc. That's a great story.
I like that they're not taking it too seriously. It looks like it's going to be fun. My biggest complaint is I can't believe somebody on the making of the film and or in the marketing department wasn't smart enough to go, fuck, Masters of the Universe is coming out 3 months before us, 4 months before us. We can't use What's Going On or What's Up is what it's actually called. We need to find a different song.
Yeah, why they use
really lame. Who the fuck wasn't smart enough to say that? Because it's going to be in the He-Man movie. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So you already know the joke's been played out, because that's the whole joke in the trailers, that you have a big buff man singing a woman's sung song, right? Like you could have come up with a million other fucking songs. Could have been Cher singing Believe, but do that as the guy. Like it's obviously a 90s song too, because it's all 90s, you know, kind of feeling in the trailer. Otherwise, I thought it was great. That was my only real complaint with it. Was like, who didn't think ahead on that one? Because you knew Masters of the Universe was coming. You knew they were going to use that song. It's just, to me, it's not going to work for them on that.
Fingers not on the pulse. Yeah.
I agree. I also thought that song was a complete and total mismatch for that trailer. Also, I have to I just thought it looked really schizophrenic or autistic or whatever, like this visual style that they're going with. To me, maybe I'm getting old, it's my birthday and stuff, but I just thought it was a visual mess. I don't know who the hell finds that appealing. It kind of looked like if you were to do like the Sony Spider-Man animation style and then do that in live action. To me, it was just an ugly, jarring mess of colors, and yeah, I just think it looks ugly. Not the characters.
On that one.
I like the character designs and stuff. It's just like something with the mise en scene, the way that it's being presented in the trailers is not working for me.
Color timing and lighting is really, well, it's too current day right now. It's not classic type of, oh, this is a good spectacle. This is using dynamic colors and contrast. It's kind of washy.
Yeah, something.
Well, they need to go back to halogen lights and shit too. That's the other problem. They're using fucking LED lights. That's why movies look this way.
Yeah, and cities.
And cities.
I noticed that when I was like living in Tenerife for 2 years, where there's no LED lights in the streets. It's all yellow traditional light bulbs, and the city was an ugly as Sin City, to be fair. But the lighting there is pretty. And then I contrast that with like the boring pale lighting you have everywhere else.
Well, LED lights have any spectrum on the color sheet. So I mean, it goes down to, well, are they using a 500K light or are they using a 3000K light? Because 3000 is your halogen, it's your normal lighting and stuff. And when I'm on sets here, that's what they convert their LEDs to. They go to the halogen equivalent of their color rendering index, because that's how it looks more natural. But the problem is that also the digital cameras, well, you can mess around with the color temperature in post a lot more than you could before, and people have a different type of eye that they want to present their things. So even if you light it exactly as it would traditionally be lit, you can still alter that significantly in post-production these days. And that's where you get your oversaturated, your dark aspects of things as well. Because LED lights, they can go to from 1000 Kelvin all the way up to 7000 Kelvin in a single bulb without any issue.
It's a combination between those, cinematography of how it's shot, like you said, because you have the issue of the digital video doesn't go as dark as film does, and some other aspects. And film,
they can capture more light than film can too. Yeah.
So it's got the other side of it. They've been trying to figure it out for the last fucking 10, 15 years. They're trying to work the formula out. They've literally gone to the point where they'll do a movie in digital, spit it out on film, rescan that film, and that's what you see in theaters, just so they could have a filmic look on it now. To where it's like,
I think to me it's bullshit. I'm have a cinematography past. It's the issue is that film naturally crushed blacks, and the dynamic range of digital is so good that people are going, but wait, I can see detail in the black. Yes. I don't want to lose that. Look what this technology's been able to do. Well, no, fuck it. Crush the blacks.
Yep.
It's not hard to do.
Yeah, because you don't get hard shadow anymore. That's exactly right.
It's hardish. You can't, and if you really, really want to risk it, you can actually crush the blacks while you're shooting, so you don't have that leeway. It's more a question of the people are going, I got 15 stops of dynamic range. I'm going to use every frickin' stop of that. Yeah. It's garbage. It can be done. It's not hard to do. And also use a shittier camera. Don't use the latest camera. Use an older one.
It'll can work. Use all that new stuff, Paul. You just have to know what you're doing in post. That's the problem.
The best formula I've seen is shoot it on film, scan it in, and then do the rest in digital.
It's not necessary. I can get a filmic look off my G92.
You can get it close, Paul, but I'll tell you right now, in the last few years, there's been at least a half a dozen movies where I've been able to tell instantly that they were shot on film and then done post digital, and I'll check, and I was right every single time. Like the new Jurassic Park movie was that way, Twisters, a few other movies, the Nosferatu, obviously everybody knew. But and they make a big difference.
It's the clarity of it's over sharp. It's just way too clear.
But that's the reason why what's his face used film specifically for Nosferatu, because he wanted the dark, harsh shadows that he couldn't get with digital filmmaking and the
I'm
lighting.
trying to remember who was the cinematographer of.
But speaking of like dark shadows, we are unfortunately losing someone very, very pale on the panel here.
We're
are
too much about useless shit.
Yeah,
I blame everyone else but me.
We're losing one member and gaining another. So take care of yourself, Script. We're glad that you were able to make it today.
Yes.
Anything you want to plug real quick?
No, just happy birthday, Andre and Chuck, and
thank you.
Many more happy returns.
And Paul, you forgot Paul.
And Paul,
I've already texted him.
I don't
even though he looks half dead.
I don't count.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Take care, Script.
Hopefully, I'll be able to catch you guys again soon. Bye-bye.
Good to see you.
And entering, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a tick. Here he is, Razor Fist.
Hey.
Hey, greetings. Good to see you again.
Yeah, we just got done talking about the Phantom. I figured you might have a thing or two to say about that.
The ghost who walks. The Democrat voter who walks. Yes, I love him. I'm the biggest Phantom fan. They just did those little shadow figurines and Solomon Kane figurines and one of those really, really detailed ones. They just did one of the Phantom. So I'm super, super excited. I don't know if it was Mezco or not Mezco, but
is it the Billy Zane version?
Yes, in this house we respect Billy Zane, and
Billy Zane deserves credit because he actually spent 2 years building his body in an era where most comic books and movie stars like George Clooney had latex muscles put on in the suit.
That's true. It was he was just doing, we're doing spandex then. Okay, let's do
and
this.
Not only that, he also studied the poses as drawn by Cy Barry and all of the earlier artists to mimic those in the fights. So basically, he did kind of like his own stunt choreography by starting with, okay, this is how he strikes. So we need to do everything to make sure it lands in that position. That's something that he pushed for. Because, Billy Zane, he really went all the way to do this as earnest and as right as possible. So it wasn't just the director that took a script that was written as a satire and did the best he could with it. Billy Zane also did everything he could to elevate the material as much as possible. I'm so glad that we have so many fans of proper pulp literature, up to and including the Phantom on the panel.
Yes, I absolutely love the Phantom, and I'm stoked because next year The Shadow is public domain. The early Shadow stories are public domain, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get on that because you may have noticed I'm a slight fan of The Shadow. I only have an entire podcast dedicated to it, so slight fan. But the Phantom is right up there for me too. That was actually of the sort of pulp movie quartet. That began with Dick Tracy, continued with Rocketeer, then you had The Shadow, and what I concluded with The Phantom. That's the only one I got to see in theaters. Wow. It's the only one I got, and it was great in the theaters. I still am a defender of that movie. If you like, even if you're not a pulp hero fan or a comic book fan or whatever, if you like an Indiana Jonesy type adventure movie, The Phantom's great. It's great on all those counts.
No, it's a good movie.
Arch, can you believe that in our native Norway being one of the most phantom-friendly, so as not to drive Mr. Chatter crazy here, phantom-crazy countries on planet Earth, the movie went straight to VHS. It bypassed theaters completely. Pissed me off.
Did you play the video game recently?
The new one? No, I'm about to. I just got my son a Switch 2. And
that's what I got it for.
I'm getting myself the Phantom game.
Yeah, they
Beyond
So you
that,
got
no,
your
it's-
son a Switch so you could get the Phantom game.
Yes, and he already has Mortal Kombat, RoboCop, and all my other favorite games lined up.
Of course.
I mean, if he's really lucky, maybe one of these days he'll get to use it.
It's like when my dad got us a Nintendo. It's more like my dad got my dad a Nintendo.
Yeah, or like when Homer Simpson got like bowling balls for the family.
Yeah. That's more spot on, but yeah.
There's another pulp character coming into public domain in a couple of years. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze. I think the first story will come into public domain in 29.
They were trying to get a movie off the ground of that for the longest time.
There
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
They released it physically. So
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Physical
great,
media
dude.
is king.
perfect one-to-one recreation of the current Phantom comic book art. Like perfect. It's like moving comic book art. Absolutely gorgeous. You can say what you want about the gameplay. It's a little stiff. It's just a beat 'em up, right? You're not expecting a whole lot out of it. It's like an arcade style beat 'em up, but for what it is, it's really, really good.
Do you have the option of making the costume blue?
If you mess with the color settings on your TV,
no, because like that's
or gray. He was gray at one point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He was the gray ghost initially because he was printed in newspapers. And this is like the fun story with that. He was printed in newspapers, and then the reason why he is purple in the U.S. is actually a complete and total coincidence. It was just whoever did the color the first week that they did it. There was no color codes or anything like that. So you had the person who was in the newspaper room who was doing the adding the colors for the Sunday edition. Like, fine, whatever, purple, I guess,
right?
Because there was no indication.
We got an abundance of purple. Nothing's ever purple. Use purple.
Exactly. Whereas, for instance, in India,
Chuck
the
laughs
same
'cause he
process
knows.
ended up red, and in the Nordic countries, blue. So, to me, my eyes, the Phantom it's blue. It's always been blue.
Right.
Wow. Blue and with like the red stripes on his shorts.
Yep. The weird candy cane stripes on his panties for some reason. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, let's get a couple more super chats here. We got Rod Thunderheart sending in 50 Canadian. That still counts as money, folks, even though it's Canadian.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Indeed. Says happiest of birthdays, Andre. Someday when gas prices gravitate more toward more reasonable levels, I'm looking to visit the Scandinavian countries. Hoping to have a beer with you one day. Happy birthday week, Paul, and happy birthday, Chuck. I hate to break your heart, Rod, but there is an ocean between you and Norway. And I don't think your truck will make it. It's not,
but it's not like like Data and Star Trek Insurrection. It'll just walk on the bottom.
I will also say that if you do manage, of course, we're going to have that beer one day. But I hope that you load your truck up with fuel, because if you think fuel is expensive in the US, man, wait until you hit Norway.
You ain't seen nothing yet, huh?
And we make the stuff.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
So yeah,
you've got like some of the largest offshore oil reserves in the world too. That's pretty much like under your country.
We do, but we also have a commie government, don't we, Arch?
Yeah, you do. A little bit.
We do have a communist government, and also the problem with our fuel is my English has apparently failed me. We bind ourselves to the EU.
Yes.
Which means that no matter how cheaply we can produce our oil, we are bound by the most expensive energy price in Europe, regardless. Viva the common market.
Indeed. Well, and what's so fantastic is our crook politicians, after the people voted no to the EU, they mucked up the EEA, which is the EU light, which is basically the same exact thing, and put it in there without referendum. I mean, someone needed to be court-martialed for that. But, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, for those wondering, we still basically live in the Biden era.
Well, Germany is deep in trouble, and the EU's engine was Germany.
Well, yeah, they shut down all their nuclear power plants. That's their primary problem.
Yeah,
that
now
was,
conceded was a mistake. Who could have foreseen that?
Yeah, I could have foreseen that.
There is actually one good thing about this, though. The EU is beginning to turn against itself because all of the right-wing parties have suddenly realized, oh, wait, hold on. Unelected bureaucracy where we can have literally infinite power? Well.
Hey.
And then you take a look at Hungary. The EU went, great, Orban, far right is gone. Wait, not quite. And then a right of center party gets elected. So basically, Hungary has two right-wing parties.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what everyone has to remember. Whenever you hear like rise of the right wing, blah 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 blah, when your position is extreme left, when you are to the left of Stalin, which is what most who opine in the press and the media are, everything is right wing next to you. Right. Most of these so-called right wing parties in Europe, pretty centrist.
And I've been using centrist now more and more to describe.
Because it's true.
I've stopped using right as a descriptive term, and I've been using centrist now.
I am proud and will take credit for being the one that pointed that out to you as well. That when especially in Europe, whenever you hear the rise of the far right, is actually the rise of the center.
Yeah. It's usually so maybe cool it with cutting little kids' dicks off without telling their parents. Maybe chill on that. That
you Nazi.
That kind of loony far right conspiracy nonsense.
Yeah, there was an interesting Finnish study that came out just earlier this week, actually.
Yes.
Which I'm not going to go into too much deep here, but I think it's going to be amazing for appalling news to dive into.
I've been using
study.
it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Basically, all this gender woo, we were wrong. Sorry. That's basically we were wrong. It doesn't work. Sorry
kids.
That's really what the upshot of that 17-year worth or 25-year study is huge.
Where do I go to get my gender back?
Right. No takesies, backsies.
Sorry.
Right.
There's no return on your bras.
Once you turn an Audi into an innie, there's no going backy. So yes, thank you, Rod, for this. That's very generous of you. And he also sent in a member chat to say, "Hail Midnight's Edge in the morning." I forget who, but somebody once said the Punisher was boring. They clearly never read Chuck during Chuck's stint. Thank you, Chuck, for some of the pun's best stories and contributions. Quick plug: See Through Love on Friesen Press. Yes, check out Rod's book, See Through Love. But yeah, I don't remember who did say that. That wasn't.
No, I remember exactly what you're referring to here. I think this might be something that's slightly misheard, or because what was discussed as boring was the John Bernthal series on Netflix.
So bad.
That was boring.
They might have dude. It wasn't even a Punisher show. They might as well.
Exactly. That's the problem.
He should have been Mr. Marine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't even. It was all military conspiracy BS. And when does the Punisher do any punishing, for crying out loud?
Oh, I can tell you that. The final 10 seconds at the end of season 2.
Right.
That was the only actual punishing that's been in so far 2 full seasons of the Punisher, plus half a season of Daredevil, a couple of guest appearances so far, and I think the trend is going to continue with mopey, boring Punisher in the special presentation. But I will also add that in this conversation, it was between myself and the other Punisher fans that we have here. Chuck Dixon's work was, of course, brought up as this is how you do it. Scribe Light in particular brought up, as he's said to you before, this taxi story in issue 40 something. If he was here, he would tell you. But yeah, you know the one, the taxi one. That was the example.
My first Punisher.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, my very first one. So.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas for me, I think that's fantastic. But I also think that the story, The Slavers, by Garth Ennis. That, to me, is the definitive Punisher story. It's unbelievable why you haven't really done that, where you have punishing, but you have it against more socially acceptable goals because they're Eastern Europeans.
My issue with Ennis Punisher is with the Punisher Max, it was all the Max specifically, the Max series specifically, they would introduce this really cool villain, and then by the end he was always dead. So it's like you could never kind of build out his world in a way, which was.
I like what they did with Barracuda, though. I think he was really cool.
Yeah, but I also think Barracuda is sort of emblematic of that in a way, right? The way they wrote that off, and then that was just a consistent problem as I was reading Max. It was like it never hit as hard as it did the first couple story arcs that you read, because once you realized that it just repeated itself, even Walter Gibson, Shadow killed all kinds of villains. But Walter Gibson would come up with clever ways to bring him back. What's that? You saw him literally get domed in the head? Oh, well, I'll think up something. Yes, cybernetic brain or something.
Yeah, I get that. But still, I have to say that the one that they have chosen to bring back time and again, Jigsaw. God, I hate Jigsaw. I hate every time he's brought back. I mean, if there was one Marvel character I would kill and have him stay dead forever, it's Jigsaw. Thank God they killed him at the very least in both the movie and the Netflix.
Yeah, how'd you feel about him in Warzone?
I hate that character.
That was always the problem writing the Punisher is, he for him to be victorious, the bad guy has to die at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no rogues gallery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also on this note, Rod Thunderheart says, "Hail, Midnight Edge in the morning." I forgot who, but we did get this one. We did get this one.
That's why you were talking about Punisher.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's from Rumble. Kalekioki says, "Whose money is Disney using script?" It's too bad we didn't get this one before script left. And why do they keep lending Disney money after countless failures, not just in films, but theme parks as well? Star Wars Hotel, anyone? Well, of course, they have, they get these, a movie, each movie itself is like a production onto itself.
Right.
Like, and this is where, like, last year when everybody was like, oh, Superman has to succeed or it's going to sink Warner Brothers, I was like, that's not how movies work. Right? Like, that's just not how it works. If Superman fails, then Superman fails. That's all there is to it. It's not going to tank Warner Brothers, Now, if it was a smaller company and that was their only thing they had for the year, then maybe, right? But that's not how that works. Basically they get these loans and every movie's made this way. They're their own little production company kind of thing, or like business setup kind of thing. And yeah, it's
and they make money even off of a movie that fails. So
yeah, if you've ever seen The Producers, but you know that.
Yeah. And that's them. As for the people who are lending them, well, in the particular case of Disney, it's not that they loan specifically for that project. Typically, it's a matter of, here, Disney Corporation, here you have $500 million that you can do with whatever the hell you want for the next 5 years. At that point, we want this level of interest back on it. They keep getting that money because of the parks. Because, there's failures in the parks as well. And the parks aren't earning as much as they maybe should. But they are earning enough money that they are able to pay the lenders back on time with interest. Then the money keeps coming. Even if at the end of the day, at the bottom line, there is less left for Disney and the shareholders to take out as they would have liked. They don't get as much as they could have, but everyone gets what they need and then some, especially those that they have obligations towards. Unless, of course, you are a writer who just handed in your final assignment for them and they don't anticipate using you in the future or something, then good luck getting that final paycheck. We've heard that many times over. If you are like someone small and they can push you around, they will. But they can't push around these major institutions that lend them money because it's the same people that Bob Iger is in boardrooms with. And because of that money is going to keep coming.
The other thing, It's a history of Hollywood. I mean, all the way back to the Silence. You answer to the money men in New York.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I was also going to say, you know, when you watch a movie and you see like, okay, first you see like the Warner Brothers logo or whatever, fine. That's the distributor and the main company. But then you'll see like a half a dozen no-name production company logos pop up. 9 times out of 10, that's where the money's coming from. It's these investment groups from a million different countries, and they put their money into it. And I mean, I've seen some where the opening thing takes 12 years to get through. They've even made fun of it on Family Guy or whatever it was, or The Simpsons, whichever one it was. But it's real. It's true. That's a lot of the times where the money comes from. And in a lot of cases, they don't get their money back.
Yeah,
it's nothing but it's a money scam, basically.
I can give you another example of that, because those are just the big ones, the ones that fund specifically to Hollywood. Behind the scenes, there's plenty more. Like, for instance, Arch. Like in Norway, we have Danske Bank, right? Have you ever invested in a fund managed by Danske Bank?
Not the Danske Bank, no, but funds in general,
because
yes.
If you did, and that fund lost money, it would be because they invested to Kurtzman Trek.
There's a sound investment.
And then at the end of the movie, you see the dry cleaners and the drivers and the catering and all the rest. Well, those are all companies owned by the producer.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, okay, like this stuff they're all, like you said, they're all companies owned by the studios and stuff. So they're basically paying themselves at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's just
an exorbitant.
Yeah.
Fees. Yeah.
Yeah, they pull the shit like the government does, basically. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's laundering in a lot of cases, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, who was the guy that everybody essentially was in a giant? Is it Uwe Boll? Was kind of that was suspected to be where a lot of his movies were being bankrolled as essentially a glorified laundering operation.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
no,
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's all a money laundering operation. You look at what it costs and what the returns were, and you realize this has to be a money laundering. It doesn't make sense otherwise.
Well, even more recent years, what was that whole deal with Leonardo DiCaprio got wrapped up in with the whole like Wolf of Wall Street and a bunch of other movies that were funded by this like money laundering scheme by some prince or something like that.
Out in
Nigerian
Dubai
prince?
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Leo had even been on the dude's boat or some shit like that. It's like talk about irony of ironies. The guy who helped fund Wolf of Wall Street was a wolf himself, basically. Yeah, but yeah, that's basically how that works. Kalekioki. A lot of these companies are quote unquote too big to fail, as they say. Marksman 117B says Arch drag Razor to Stanford Bridge, best collab.
I don't know what that is.
It's the podcast I'm doing with Sargon of Akkad these days. And Razor is, of course, always welcome on. He's a great guy.
No.
I'm sure you guys would have plenty of things you guys could discuss there. And then we got Chris, who sends in a birthday wish for Andre, saying, Andre, you have the same birthday as me today. Well, happy birthday to you, Chris, as well.
Happy birthday, Chris. Technically, though, my birthday actually isn't until tomorrow, which is just convenient to celebrate today. Since this way we get not just me, but also Mr. Chato and Chuck and Chris.
Paul's was yesterday. Chuck's was a couple days ago. So really, we're doing this all for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Razor, I should say that Sargon, I've been listening to him for a long time.
Speaking of Chris's, I think our Chris has to leave us now. Am I wrong?
Yes, sadly I do. This is quite a chock full of A-listers today, but I got to get out.
Yeah, we should have one more guest coming soon here.
I bet. I think the show's going to go a little longer than usual today.
That's what I had just pointed out in the back room. I was like, we're going to probably go a little longer. So if any of our regulars do have to check out at the normal time, it's understandable. So Chris, go ahead and plug your wares and we'll let you get on out of here.
Well, I mean, everybody can slide over to Bleeding Fool. We're kind of talking about the House of Mouse's recent cuts at Marvel, which actually kind of hit the comics division pretty hard, but they've been hitting themselves pretty hard for a while, to be fair. So some big names got the axe over there. We're talking about some of the things that the Sony CEO said, which you mentioned earlier about too many trailers and trying to make the movie experience better. And on a side note, my little side hustle, I'm working with Pat Broderick and Mike Barron. They just launched their Bronze Star 2.
Oh, yeah.
Over on Kickstarter about an hour ago. It's already done about 5K in the first hour. It's great. Pat Broderick is a elder statesman of comics. If you were a fan of his Micronauts or Firestorm, golly, he's just fantastic.
Yeah, right here.
Look, hey, and there's the first one. Yeah, Bronze Star. That is the
I had Mike Barron on to talk about it. We launched Westerns more or less simultaneously.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
Goes to the Badlands at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
But dude, this thing's absolutely smoking. People were asking me because it was kind of spooky, but it wasn't. There was a rational explanation for everything. Like, is this going to be a supernatural Western? I'm like, no. But Bronze Star, on the other hand,
that's the weird Western. Yeah.
So if you want to fresh that in.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic. And then the Nexus omnibuses are all delivered. So that took a 6-pound books. I got my biceps are nice and worked out for that. So we're doing that. But it's bleedingfool.com, or just follow me over at Chris Brawley, and hail to this chat. Happy birthday to all, particularly you, Andre, since this is your show.
Thank you.
And love you guys, and love what you do, and love your opinions, even when I disagree with them. Right, Paul?
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. See you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.
Always good to see you.
Take care, Chris.
Take care.
I am a heathen.
You are. And then we've got Flying Blind, who says happy Friday. Oh, well, happy Friday to you, Flying Blind. And then he also gifted 5 memberships. Thank you for that. And then Eturiel has been here for 25 months and says happy birthday, Andre. And finally managed to catch Midnight's Edge and not listen to you on my way home. Well, we're glad you could catch us. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm also glad you listened on the way home. But
indeed.
Yeah, glad you could catch us live.
So with that, let's get into the He-Man talk. Why don't we?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we got a breakdown of some more stuff that's in the He-Man movie. And yeah, it sounds interesting. And this is also ties into Miss Mendez and her comments. But basically,
I fucking knew it. Oh.
Yeah, so
I think you lost me at Jared Leto.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a problem. But we have a breakdown here from the wrap. They'll bring up here on screen. And it says, He-Man is still on Earth in the back of a cop car in the beginning of the trailer they got to see at Cinemacon, with 2 police officers making fun of the Power Sword. One asks if he's Highlander, while the other tries to think of another joke and settles on saying Highlander again. And mind you guys, guess what? They use the song Princes of the Universe by Queen in this movie, I found out too.
What?
Yes.
What? It's a killer song, but jeez.
They're gonna fuck this all up. Anyhow, continuing, it goes, the cops leave the car with He-Man still in the back. Everyone around starts to flee when a large free creature jumps onto a nearby truck. Well, that's clearly Beastman, as we saw in the trailer.
That sounds like it, yeah.
What's Up by 4 Non-Blondes plays in the background. A nod to the famous Masters of the Universe parody video. He-Man tries to fight the creature but fails. He is about to be killed when dun-da-da-da, Teela arrives to save him. Oh. Adam doesn't recognize her at first, but of course Teela does. So here we go. We got a movie where everybody knows He-Man's He-Man except for He-Man. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, from there, the traditional trailer follows with He-Man realizing that Eternia isn't how he remembers it, having fallen into disrepair due to Skeletor, and Adam meets the group of aliens, including Man-at-Arms, saying that they probably don't remember him. Halfway through the trailer, Adam draws the Power Sword and is returned to He-Man's state, saying, I have the power. The trailer is filled with action, including Adam jumping onto ships and fighting a group of Skeletor's army clones, or army alone in a throne room. Sorry, not clones. At one point, he is getting pummeled by Skeletor's minions before he grabs the Power Sword off the ground and throws the dog pile off of him. The final footage shows He-Man and Skeletor fighting in what appears to be the climactic battle. So that's our breakdown of Motu.
A battle which ideally they should have kept to themselves and not put in any trailer. But yeah, I'll say right off the bat, this and to me, there's no surprises here. We already know what this movie is, what it's going to be, which is exactly what Tom did not want it to be, which is a jokey satire, one that looks right, but that treats the source material as if it was campy, and tries to bring that camp to life on screen, halfway making excuses for its own source material. And you're either going to like that or you're not going to like that, or maybe you can tolerate it but wish it was different. That's certainly my camp. I would have loved a completely serious take, but as long as it gets the gist right, I guess I'm okay with this. But again, we already know what this movie is now. And Tom, of course, has been 100% correct in his assessment of what the movie is and what it's going to be. Now, whether one chooses to let that be a deal breaker or not, that's individual. But yeah, this is just further confirmation of what you've been saying all along, Tom.
Sadly, yeah. So I know, like I said, the general audience isn't going to care, and they're probably going to have a good time at this movie. They're going to have fun. It's basically reverse Barbie. But there's going to be...
I was going to say, it sounds like they're Barbie-fying it.
Yeah. But there's going to be a select group of kids that were born within a certain age group that grew up with He-Man, that were there on the ground floor when it was a thing, that are not going to be into this.
Because they're all dead.
Well, then they had heart attacks because they're like my age. But
yeah, then they died suddenly.
Yeah, or they had accidents, one of the two, because because like I said, like there's people who are a little older, a little younger, they don't have the problems that people within my specific age group are having with this setup. And again, look wise, sure, it looks great for that part, but Jared Leto was just the start of the trouble. Razor, you're not wrong there.
It absolutely is. It's like a mirror universe of the Nintendo seal of quality.
I just want to bring this up because, sir, I didn't mean to intercut you, but just like Girthy Guitarist says, I'm 46 and I'm excited for it. That's because you are just the right age. That's right. And age bracket.
And I'm hoping that you can fix your marriage also.
Yeah, and also I'm glad to reference Mr. Chato there, that you didn't die suddenly as so many others in our bracket.
Therapy,
but anyway,
going to
if he's girthy enough, he probably doesn't have to fix the marriage.
All I know is we're going to end up owing the Dolph Lundgren He-Man a lot of apologies by the end of this. I bet.
It sounds like they're going to make on purpose the kind of movie that Masters of the Universe 80s was on accident. Like that movie was campy bullshit, and that's why it's fun to watch. But it was on accident, right? This is, hey, let's wink at the camera a bunch of times. And I've said a million times, there's nothing more unctuous than a cheesy movie, like a cheesy action movie, especially, that feels the need to wink at the camera. No, bullshit. Don't wink at the camera, because that's the entire fun. We want it to be unironically cheesy. We want it to be so bad that, we want it to land on such a bad note that it falls off the badness scale and lands on a good one. That's what we want. That's the best action movies. I just hate that self-aware bullshit.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue too, is it shouldn't be these things. And you're right, Razor. As corny as it could have come off being serious, that's what it is. It's Conan meets Star Wars, right? Let's not beat around the bush here.
Yeah. Although it has a Minecraft kind of tone to it, just based on the trailer. Like I think they're aiming it for the same group.
Kind of, yeah.
But I mean, look, I never expected it to be 100% what I wanted it to be. I knew we weren't going to be able to get away with some of the memes leaking in here in some ways. But just like reading the story, it's like, did you ever fucking watch He-Man? Like, seriously, this is not He-Man. Like, none of this is He-Man that's in this trailer so far, and I don't get it. So I'm just really confused here is what they're trying to sell us. And oh my gosh, talk about a blast from the past. A man we haven't seen in a while, and I'm curious what he has to say about this and other things. Mr. Gary Tunnicliffe, how are you, sir?
Hey, Gary.
How's everyone?
Oh, wow, it's been a long time. How you been?
It's been a while.
Yeah, good to see you again, my friend.
Dark on my camera. I'm well. I'm good and well. Good Lord, it's a gallery today, including Razorfist. That's awesome.
Indeed, yes. So Gary, if you don't know Gary, he is, of course, a man who has worked on several horror films that you've probably seen, from Hellraiser to Scream to Crows to.
Did you work on Hellraiser 2? Because you'd be my hero.
I'm afraid I didn't. That's when I came in. I was just a fan like you, and came in after 2, and then did everything ever. I literally started on 3, and then did everything since. So.
Oh, okay. I love 3 too, so that's great. But
yeah,
but 2 is like a work of art. That movie, I think that movie's so underrated.
It's massively underrated, and the real shame is that Tony Randall, who directed that, was supposed to direct 3. You know, and I think he would have made a film. I mean, the thing that's amazing about Hellraiser 2 is that it really feels like it was made back to back with the original. You know, whereas you know, I think 3 would have been much darker and broodier and cool. And unfortunately, you know, I liked 3 at the time, but it hasn't aged well. Unfortunately, Tony Hickox is a bit more of a rock and roll MTV director, and I felt it did the film a disservice. But you know, we had some fun on it. So
it is the MTV Hellraiser, though. Yeah,
it is. It is. That is the one when when Dimension came aboard as well. So you know,
I do got to play a special place for the CD guy, though. I don't remember his actual name, but yeah.
Did you work on Lord
for
of
all
Illusions?
the wrong reasons?
Yes, I worked on Lord of Illusions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Board
I got it right here. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the German special edition of it.
I say, aren't we getting the new 4K is going to be the extended cut too? I think of that. I heard.
There's not much more that goes into it, though. To be honest, it's just more of the only stuff that's different is the stuff with the cult. You know, the cult stuff, which is some really great stuff. Actually, really fun stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of German special editions, there's of course this masterpiece.
Yeah, the Hellraiser Judgment on it. Yeah.
That's an awesome movie.
The commentary we did with you on it. Yeah.
And of course, for those that enjoyed Star Trek Picard season 3, Gary of course did the Borg Queen, as you have done so many other things before Star Trek.
I did a little bit on it. I just painted it. You know, Vincent Van Dyke actually did the effects on that. I just painted it. That's all I did. You know, so that's like the day I did on Wolverine Origins or whatever. You know,
Come on,
there are things I design on and work on, and then there are things that I just literally, you know, I was there on the day. So. But the stuff I've just done recently that's really fun and I'm excited about is I was working on Spider Noir, and there's some really fun stuff in that. So
I was about with Nicolas Cage. I can't wait to when you are able to speak more about it, because that looks super cool.
It is. It's really fun. It's really fun, and I think Nick's amazing in it, and there's some really fun stuff in it. So it's about, you know, it's great to see that, you know, I've worked with Nick a few times, and it's weird to see Nick go through this kind of weird trajectory, but I think it's gonna open him up again. That man works so hard. I gotta tell you that, you know, like people can make jokes about him or whatever, but that guy turns up to set and you know, stays in character and knows every line, everyone else's line. He's a total professional, and you know, so yeah, I got nothing bad to say about Nick Cage.
Well, that's no fun to hear.
I've worked with a lot of great people.
Oh no, I'll shut.
But the greatest I've ever worked with is Gary fucking Tunnicliffe.
You just have to be careful when you say, "I did the Borg Queen."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, resistance is futile, you know.
I'm thinking, you know what?
Thing going on.
Unless you have a video that you can show that you've done her. She's
Well, that's a sex videotape that needs to get out.
Well, there was the time when you did like the boob cast for Jerry Ryan, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's right. I did. I had more than.
So he's been in the same room as her boobs.
Yeah, it was very funny actually. I remember turning up on set. We were on set the first day of shooting. It was on Dracula 2000, and the first day he walked up with Jerry Ryan and said, "Gary, this is Jerry Ryan," and she went, "Oh, Gary knows me. He's had his hands on places that most people would like to have their hands." So.
This is true.
She sounds very game.
She was awesome. She was hilarious.
Those are always the best, I bet, to work with. Too,
yeah. Before we move on here, Hyper Guyver also says, just remember, Hellraiser Hellworld gave us Henry Cavill. Also,
a very young Henry Cavill. A very young Henry Cavill. It was yeah. It's strange to look back on that, and a young Henry Cavill in Romania making a Hellraiser movie.
And Lagertha from Vikings.
Hey, also Hellraiser also gave us Adam Scott as well. You know, from Hellraiser Bloodline. So
yeah. to say nothing of Scott Derrickson, director extraordinaire, from what I consider to be the most underrated Hellraiser movie of all, Inferno.
Yeah, Hellraiser 5 is very good. Yeah, absolutely. Funniest story I can tell you about Hellraiser 5 is we were live casting Craig Sheffer. And it's not the funniest story, but it's a funny story. But Craig Sheffer's sitting in my office or in our workshop, and we're doing his live cast. And he looks up and there's a poster for Hellraiser 4. And he goes, Hellraiser 4? And we're like, uh-huh. And he goes, well, how many of these things have they made? And we're like, well, this is number 5. And he's like, I thought it was a sequel. It's like, well, it is a sequel of sorts. He's like, no, I thought it was Hellraiser 2. And it's like, no. And he's like, Jesus Christ.
I need to fire my fucking agent.
Right.
Yeah, that was the next line. That was exactly it, you know. But again, Craig worked his guts out on that film. He really did. And Scott was fantastic. And Scott was very focused and knew what he was doing, and had some ideas that were creepy that didn't work and some ideas that were really creepy and worked. So, but it was interesting. All the Hellraisers, I mean, we had some great talent on those. James Remar was on that film as well. Yeah, so.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
And Nick Turturro. Yeah, we Dimension always were really, really good at casting. They were amazing at finding cast. I'm trying to think of some of the other films where we kind of got surprise cast. But they always seem to have young actors who were on the cusp. Like, I mean, you talk about Henry Cavill, but we also had, God, I've forgotten her name now, Catherine Winnick, who went on to be in Vikings.
Yeah, Lagertha. That's what I said. I forgot the actress name, but the character name in Vikings was Lagertha. So Catherine Winnick. Yeah, that's the one.
Amazing, and she was fantastic as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and Kari Vudet, I see Lauren Taylor brings up. She was great in Part 7 and Deader.
Yeah, Carrie worked really, really hard on that. Carrie worked really hard. I mean, it was a weird situation because we did Deader and Hellworld back to back, and I felt like Rick really focused on Deader, and we knew what the story was, and it was a script that had bounced around Hollywood for a long time. Stan Winston was on it for a while, producing it.
I kind of like that
one. And then Hellworld was literally, and it shows, thrown together literally at the last minute. I mean, it was, we were having meetings in a hotel room, like 2 weeks before shooting, trying to figure out the ending and who was doing what, and it was a mess.
Yeah, it's a shame that that's the one movie that has Lance Henriksen, who's a tremendous.
Yeah, Lance was great. Yeah, but we were bringing Lance out to Romania all the time. We did 2 Mimic sequels, and Lance came out for that, and that's where the director met Lance, and Lance was like, "Hey, I'll come back. Got a good casino here, so I'll come back." So he was always fun. But there were interesting times. But yeah. What's the topic of discussion right now? What were you guys literally?
Well, we were talking about He-Man, but there's really not so much more to discuss about it. Any final thought? Like, for instance, Gary, have you heard anything about He-Man? Is this someone who's working on it? Any thoughts on?
Haven't heard anything. I'm like you. I've just seen trailers, and I thought the first trailer was okay, and then I thought the last trailer was terrible. And then I was going to ask you guys. I mean, I just saw the new Mandalorian trailer last night, and I thought the first trailers were terrible, and I thought last night's trailer was fantastic. So the new Mandalorian trailer to me looks like a $1 billion film. So.
Yeah.
So unless anybody had anything else to say about Masters, that's probably
then we'll seg straight to the Mandalorian, because I agree with you. I think that the trailers for the Mandalorian have been terrible up until this point. The new one is really, really good. I was just thinking, damn, I wish that I had seen season 3, because I'm still not going to see it because I haven't sat through season 3, and I'm not going to. So that means I'm disqualified.
John Favreau's already said that you don't need to have seen anything to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, of course he'd say that. But then there was just one thing that stood out in me in that trailer, and that's the final second. I know this is probably really, really pedantic of me, but it just stuck out to me like a sore thumb. Because here we have gotten this, in my opinion, really good trailer. Good music, good tone, good everything. And then, boom, we cut to the Mando and Grogu logo. And it looks like this children's animation based on the logo alone.
Yeah.
To me, it was just like well, okay, yeah, fine. You just reminded me.
It's funny because Toxic Man Flu last night said it looked like something that was done on Canva, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, that logo does look like something that's done on Canva for kids. So yeah, that took me out of it a little bit.
My only take was I literally thought the first trailers were for children, and last night's trailer they finally got the message and made a trailer for grown-ups. So
too bad they didn't make this trailer a year ago or 6 months ago when it might have made a difference.
But like Bob Weinstein used to say, it's his fan talk, and the fans are going to go anyway. So you've already got their dollars.
Right up until they aren't. I mean, that's the fans are going to go anyway.
Stay away.
Sometimes famous last words.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Hey, I've got a movie coming out that day as well. So I mean, I can't.
Oh,
believe
which
the
one?
movie I worked on is coming out. Corporate Retreat.
Oh, I thought it was the Borg Queen sex tape. I thought it was.
No.
I can't wait for that
I'm
one.
going to stream that privately. Pay-per-view. You pay by the inch.
Yeah. $1 then. Goodness.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's a great deal. 10 years ago it would have been 3, but now it's 1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm actually more excited for Corporate Retreat than I am Mando and Grogu, I have to admit. So
hey, all I can say about Corporate Retreat is it's a film we made for $600,000 last year in the Valley, and they have worked their asses off promoting it. It's a gory, bloody, cool little film, very kind of like lots of meta stuff in it, and they're hyping the hell out of it. So I mean, even if someone turns up to see Mandalorian and can't get a ticket, they might go into Corporate Retreat, and they have no choice but to make money.
It's perfect counter programming. Indeed. So yeah. Any other thoughts on the Mando and Grogu trailer? Arch, you've been quiet for a while. Are you excited that Star Wars is coming back to theaters for the first time since 2019?
I am so excited. I haven't actually watched any of it. I have felt no drive, no inclination, no interest at all.
It kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of feels like, you remember in 2008 when they did the Clone Wars movie and nobody was really hyped for it. It kind of snuck up on everybody. It still made money
which is funny because it has the same exact plot.
Right. So it kind of has that vibe, but way less hype because Mandalorian is really, really far over the hill, into a valley, up another hill, and down the other side of that hill. Like, that's how far the Mandalorian has gone past its use by date.
Yeah.
I just feel like people are tired of Star Wars. They assume it's probably going to be bad and mediocre at best, and it's just really like, meh. Why would I?
I just don't see. I think, how do you even, of course, this is the immortal question. How do you even put the paddles on the chest of this franchise and bring it back at this point? How? I mean, I think you have to let it rest like a good steak or something for a good long while.
Well, you can't bring in Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet and have him snap everything okay again. That's like one way of doing it, but
it may come to that.
The truth is, guys, is that it's like everything. It's like it'll either be good, bad, or it'll be really good. And I mean, and if it'll be like a Hail Mary situation. I mean, you couldn't get any good press for that movie before it came out, and then all of a sudden now it's like a little juggernaut trundling along. And Favreau's, the guy who gave us Iron Man, which is a pretty solid movie, and if he can pull it out. And I mean, and again, it's one viewing can change everything, or one set of reviews. I mean, again, I'm in the negative. I never watched the Mandalorian show. I wasn't a fan. I'm the same as like Razif says. I'm like, are we still trying to pump the life into this thing? But then if I suddenly get the call off people and they go, you know what, I saw it last night and it's absolutely amazing, or it's really, really good, you've got to see it.
I got something to show you. Speaking of the Mandalorian, I got something to show you guys. Just a second. Be right back.
Oh, and there you go. Yeah, so it can all change in 2 days, right?
Maybe, but I think the franchise fatigue here will be very difficult to overcome. Like, I too am on the side, do the same as with Star Trek, just lay it dead for a good 5-6 years, and then maybe people will be hungry again.
I'll be dead by then.
Well, let's hope not.
Medical technology is more advanced every year. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, like in my own experience in the last few weeks, medical experience has come pretty far. But yeah,
All I'm going to say is we'll have this same conversation May 25th when you've all seen it. You're all like, "Oh my god, it's so great!" And then
Right.
See, now you've all.
Well, if that happens, I'll be very glad to eat crow and happy to do so. I always.
You don't trust Favreau? You don't think Favreau's a good director?
No, I trust Favreau. But the problem here is not this
so
one movie. This
about
movie
it.
it's not about this movie.
With Adam Savage, he's so excited. He's so excited about it.
This thing right here, this movie, is the compound damage of a decade of mismanagement.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the problem
still
here.
exactly, and he's still got to deal with all of the baggage of the last several seasons, which were so unwatchable.
Yeah. Well, just season 3. He had to deal with Boba Fett and season 3, both of which were repercussions from the firing of Gina Carano. If this movie had come straight after season 2, I think it would have been $1 billion movie. Instantly, the instant $1 billion hit.
This right here.
Saw the.
This is my favorite thing about Mandalorian. This right here. I love that Star Wars bases the blasters on real life pistols, and it's usually like old machine pistols from World War I. And this is the one. This is the Bergman. This is not a common pistol, but it's a German pistol, and that's what they based the Mandalorian's pistol on. Although this is a model number 3, I think they base it on a model number 1. Which is
I was just going to say that.
Of course you would, Paul. But somebody would like to come in and say something, and that is, of course, Michelle from Force of Light.
Michelle.
How are you doing?
Hello, good to be here. Yes,
Glad to have you.
Didn't have tons of time today, but wanted to make sure I swung by and wished Andre a very happy birthday, Andre.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And
I'll second that. I didn't say happy birthday either. Happy birthday, Andre.
Well, cheers.
Yeah,
and,
way to age.
It's also Chuck's and Chato. They also had birthday this week. So
and Gina Carano.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday to you gentlemen too.
We haven't. It's been a long time since we had dinner.
I know. I was just thinking you have to come back down to Tennessee.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'd love to go there again sometime soon, as soon as circumstances permit. But
yeah, we were just talking about Grogu and Mando. So, do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. I am about as apathetic with Star Wars as I think I could possibly be. I will go see that and review it. I did love the first 2 seasons, but I mean, sadly, those first 2 seasons, that's right at 6 years ago now. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been. Let's rephrase that. 6 years since they had goodwill with fans at the end of season 2 before they fired Gina. And so I'll go see the movie. Hopefully it's cute, but that's kind of what it looks like. Maybe it's a cute movie. And I mean, Grogu's always cute. But yeah, I'm not expecting it to be anything, amazing. I don't expect it to be as good as Project Hail Mary by any means.
Yeah, time will tell. Everything we have heard suggests that Disney have basically already written the movie off, box office wise. But we'll see what happens with it. I mean, I was impressed with the final trailer, but again, a trailer isn't going to undo, as you say, 6 years of complete lack of goodwill from the fan community and a decade of mismanagement.
Yes, no, it's not. I think its chances. Can it get those families in? To come see take their kids to go see Grogu on the big screen. But I think right now it's tracking. It's my personal opinion. I think if it's decent at all, I think The Devil Wears Prada 2 will greatly outdo this at the box office.
How embarrassing would that be when the movie that is meant to be counter-programming ends up winning? Well, of course, we don't know that that's going to happen. But if it does, that would be pretty embarrassing for Disney and for everyone involved with it.
Well, we should dissect the Devil Wears Prada 2 trailer frame by frame, like we do all the big IP ones.
Right. Break that down like the Zapruder film.
Yes, right. Exactly. But that I hate to say it, I'm a huge fan of the first movie. The Devil Wears Prada 2 trailer sucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, and that is the thing with the Devil Wears Prada. I have noticed from us covering it, it is one of those more female. Obviously, it's more centered to female interest, but men genuinely really liked the first one.
Excuse me, I'm a huge Project Runway fan. Do not lump me in with men. Okay, do not do that, girl. And I'm telling you, that Devil Wears Prada 2 thing looked horrible.
Well, it doesn't look very inspired, you know. It doesn't. But we'll see. Those movies have been, because I hope you guys have noticed that we've been covering that on our live streams, because you guys have talked about this for quite a while, and you were very accurate in pointing that out. Of would these studios begin to go back to low budget dramas that women actually want to see? And thus far, when they've done that, whether it was what was the movie, the Handmaid, we've got the Devil Wears Prada coming out. The drama is doing really well for A24, and it was made for I think 24 million.
Even that Wuthering Heights movie that sucks, that all the women hate, is still making money.
Yeah,
the women don't hate it.
Every woman I've talked to hated it.
That's terrible.
My point was they'll go see shit they don't like, but yeah.
And it's not like Wuthering Heights has this storied cinematic legacy prior to this either. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But bottom line is they finally have started making. Well, Wuthering Heights wasn't that cheap. It was more like 80 million, I think.
Right.
But and I bet Devil Wears Prada has a decent size price tag with those actors. But still keeping it way less than spending all this wasted money on movies like the Marvels that women do not care to. I never saw. Women do not want to see those movies.
And neither do men.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, now. But no, before it was, you're not wrong. And that's the whole point, was like, women will go see movies that are made for women, but they're not going to go out of their way to go see a superhero movie that's being made for them, because that's not in their wheelhouse usually. Not every woman, but
if it's a good movie, they will.
Yeah, the general audience.
Bad movie, they won't.
Yeah, but my point was I was getting to is you've lost that male audience, which is the male audience was the one that would normally drag their girlfriends to the Avengers film, right? Where they'd be normally opposed to be dragged, they drag their boyfriends to the. I think the
mistake they made was you have to be honest about the IP, and sometimes you'll surprise yourself. So my wife never goes to superhero movies. Okay, this is, however, she loved Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
My wife too.
That was sorry, Chuck.
My wife loved it too.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think if you're honest about what it is you're working on, you will find surprise moments where larger groups of people suddenly enjoy the product. But you can't target it in the same way you cannot purposely make a viral video. Those things are accidental. You can't plan those things.
This has been a cause célèbre of mine for a long time. The idea of, I'll just liken it to video games because that's what I usually cover. There's this sort of false dichotomy of you have casual video games and then you have hardcore video games, right? And I think hardcore game is a myth, because some of the, you mentioned Minecraft earlier. That would have been a thoroughly hardcore video game idea many, many, many moons ago. But because it was done so well for what it is, wound up exploding, and a bunch of it's like the ultimate casual game now. Like everybody plays that game, right? So the same principle applies, I think, to movies, to comic books, to any entertainment, really, even to music. If you pick your lane and you do it really, really well, you usually have a better chance of finding a wider audience than if you deliberately cater your product to a wider audience.
And that's the fallacy that the studios have been living under all this time.
Yeah. The classic problem with this is when you have a singular vision as opposed to a corporate vision or a group getting involved. I suspect that something like Guardians, James was left alone. Everyone was like, there was a little bit of involvement, but they trusted him and let him do his thing. And then after these things become a success, everyone tries to pick it apart figure out what the recipe was.
Yes.
Literally, with a bunch of people in a room saying we need this and we need this and this and this and this and this. It overcomplicates it, and it just ends up being bullshit.
We've
and
got
it's like,
the formula now.
We have to go back to giving people hiring a director and saying, I trust you to do your thing. It's like, I don't know if you just saw Vincent D'Onofrio was talking the other night about Edgar, the Edgar bug, and saying how that, he worked out this whole thing of being stiff-limbed and the vocal cadence. And he did the first take. He wasn't allowed to talk to Barry Sonnenfeld about anything about the movie. And on the first day they did the first scene, Barry Sonnenfeld was like, cut, went up to Vincent, was like, what are you doing? This is terrible. This is awful. This is, are you going to do this for the whole film? And he was like, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll give it a shot. And it turns out to be a great performance.
Oh, my God.
It's like, let somebody do their job, for Christ's sake. And, I have turned down 2 movies in the last year because I was, people were like, we want to buy your script. We want you to make this film. And we're going to give you 2 executives to work with you on your movie. And I would go, well, have you made movies? No. Have you been to film school? No. Have you, do you like movies? No, they're just, well, we think you need X amount of characters like this, and you need a trans character, and you need this character, and you need this character. And it's like, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
And the problem is for directors, you end up having this stuff shoehorned into your movie and being made to do it. And then you get put on the rack when the film comes out, by the internet. You're slaughtered, like Neil Marshall for Hellboy, who's now doing videos saying, hey, it wasn't me, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
No, it's true. You notice whatever these big bombs, especially with the thick veneer of wokeness, wind up coming out. You never see the studio leap in and defend the director or leap in and defend the star who was too mouthy or whatever. That never ever happens. They just
all your idea at that point.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, they're just
like
exactly. They're just happy that you're the lightning rod.
You're lying dead on the floor, and the kid is going, he killed the chicken. It's like, they let you out to die.
No, their secret counterattack is to put one of the stars in a car and be weepy about the lead actor.
It only works on certain things, Paul. Remember now, because Rachel Zegler learned the hard way.
I'm in a car.
That you can't go against certain things, but as long as you stay on the right side of the things or the left side of things, then you're in the right space. But then once you go out and and pull a Gina Carano and go,
well, I mean, and William Goldman was
rogue.
Right. No one knows anything, and you just gotta be as honest about what it is that you're doing as you possibly can. And what happens will happen. I mean, and Men in Black, you talk about that. That would not normally be one of my wives. Wives? I won't tell her. Please.
He's got multiple wives.
Converted to Islam, did you?
No, you're right. I know where you're going with this. Is like the whole Edgar scene. Like, thank God that Vincent knew the homework coming into the thing, because clearly Barry didn't, because he's selling the whole idea that this is a bug inside of a suit.
That was the Academy Award. That should have been nominated for Academy Award.
And his wife is the best part, which he's like Edgar, but it wasn't Edgar. He's like in a suit, like an Edgar suit.
I suggest you watch it. It's a great. It's him talking about iconic characters. Those videos are always amazing. He said the same thing about Magnificent Seven. He said, I did this high-pitched, squeaky voice for the character, and Anton Fuqua was like, "You sure about this, right?" And he was like, "I think so." So again, sometimes it's like, you don't stand behind a plumber in your house going, "Are you going to use that? Is that the wrench you're going to use?" Like, you sure? What are you going to wear when you're doing this?
You know what? I do tell them to pull up their pants, though.
Yeah.
No, but you're right.
After we're done,
you don't have a corporation behind a band like Powerwolf, telling them how to write their songs, or you don't have a corporation behind, King Diamond saying, "I think you need a more woke, song here, King."
Yes.
It's like, just let people do that. You've hired them for a reason. You like their work, let them do it.
Well,
that's kind of why I have faith in a little bit in. And again, I'm on the outside. I never watched any of The Mandalorian ever. I saw Grogu from the very beginning, was like, no, you do not have my dollars for a little toy character. I'm not interested, even though people raved about it. But I think the film, 2 things I'm going to say. First of all, I trust Favreau. I do. I think he's a great director. And going back to what Razorfish said with the gun, I watched an interview last night with him and Adam Savage, and he's showing the tech he's using in the film. And it's all based on World War II stuff. They've got a great facility out in Northern California where they're using real guns and adding bits to it, and they've gone back to George's philosophy.
Wow. Right.
And secondly, it's a cinematic movie. Devil Wears Prada if you're looking at the barometer of do I watch this at the cinema or do I go streaming, a lot of people will just go, you know what? What's the benefit of seeing that on this big screen?
Meryl Streep.
Well, on the big screen, you'll see you can see it on your big screen, on your 60-inch screen at home. Mandalorian will need to be seen in a cinema, and that will pull people in, I think. But again, I put it down to 2 days into the movie's been released, people are either going to be going, dude, you got to go and see that movie, or yeah, it's as bad as we thought. Simple as that.
I would say don't underestimate The Devil Wears Prada 2, though, even if it's bad.
It'll have great weekends.
It'll have a great weekend, I think.
I think it's going to do very well.
Choices now where you don't have to see it in the cinema.
It's for the same thing, like, and again, I agree with you guys, like, too. It looks like it's shot for streaming, and it possibly was. There was a point where they were teetering on, what are we going to do this for streaming, or is it going to be theatrical? Because I couldn't believe it when Disney
22-year-olds want to see that film. 22-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. Do they not think it's a movie full of old people?
Well, that's why some of the younger actors are in the movie. But you're not wrong. Like, this movie is put there for a specific audience, and that audience is going to show up for it. And it's a very big audience because it's made up of Gen X and the younger crowd. The younger kids are actually going to movies. There was an article recently that came out. It's Gen Z that has been lost. They're not going to movies. The younger kids are, and the older generation still is. So it's up to us and the younger kids, I guess, to save this thing at this point. But what Project Hail Mary proved, and certain other things have proved in the last couple of years, is that if you put the right thing out there and it's good, the audience will come and see it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the main thing that matters. And even if it's, on streaming a few weeks in, there's still some movies that have done well even when they've been on video on demand already. And now we just
especially if they're cinematic, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and just yesterday they announced that now they've changed their mind about putting Project Hail Mary out on streaming so quickly. They're going to push it out a little farther. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and I just want to defend. You talked about network notes, movie notes, and executives attached to productions, and I was an executive, so I just want to defend myself.
You're not allowed to,
and because I was in charge of writing all. I was executive in charge of comedy in Canada for CBC, and
I know your resume. I do know,
and I was in charge of writing all the bits for the Canadian portions of the Spitting Image show. Spitting Image, you're aware of, you know that. Well. I wrote all the Canadian bits. I talked with the main producers of Spitting Image in the UK over the phone, and I can't remember his name. And he said, "So when are you coming over to supervise the bits?" I said, "I'm not coming over. You guys are experts. I love your show. What more could I add?" And there was silence. And he said, "Never in my entire life have I heard a TV executive just tell us to just go for it." So, see, I'm one of the good ones. That's why I'm out of work.
Probably, yeah, life is unfair.
Life is unfair.
I'm sorry, and I quoted it wrong. It's the millennials who aren't going to movies. The Zoomers are.
I can't keep track of it. You could.
I know. I hate this stupid shit that they do.
I can't figure it out. And the boomers are in their RVs.
Yes, the boomers are. You are a boomer.
I'm in an RV. Yeah. I got an RV. That's what I do.
Yeah. I'm an RV, and I'm upset, and I'm not a video. Now you got to start doing those in your RVs.
Yes, that's right.
But yes, so thank you, Six, for correcting me on that because I got that wrong. How much more time do you have, Michelle? I know you had a limited window.
Let's see.
Bated breath.
Yeah, right.
Can you guys hear me? It just broke.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Got you. Oh, okay. Tom, repeat yourself. My thing.
I
totally
just asked how much time you had left because I know you said you had limited time.
Yes, so I'm going to have to get going. But again, I just wanted to wish Andre a very happy birthday and say for you and Tom to keep doing what you're doing. I've been watching several of you guys' videos over the last couple of weeks. You guys do a phenomenal job. So keep it up.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. I
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, thank you guys
check out
for
Force
having
of Light.
me.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, check out Force of Light Entertainment. We watch a lot of good old movies, so you can come watch with us. But you guys have an awesome rest of your show. And again, happy birthday and be blessed on your birthday. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Take care, Michelle. So yeah, with that, was there anything more to say about Star Wars before we get into the next topic before we round out?
I think we have said pretty much what there is to say about Star Wars at this point. We'll just have to wait and see what the audience feels when the movie comes out in a few weeks here. That should be really interesting, no matter what. It'll be an interesting data point.
Well, the other big thing to talk about is Andre's Star Wars.
Indeed.
And it's got the dumbest title in the world. So, Andre, you want to kick this off, or do you want me to?
Well, first one, just to clarify for those who may not know, who haven't seen me say that before on live streams, Spaceballs is my Star Wars. This is no joke. I see Tunnicliffe nodding his head. The reason is that I didn't see Star Wars until I was in my late teens, whereas I saw Spaceballs as a kid. So I grew up with Spaceballs, not with Star Wars. Because of that, Spaceballs is my Star Wars. And I didn't even connect that it was a parody of Star Wars until like years later. But hey, that's me. But anyway, yeah, so here we have some teaser footage of the cast from the new Spaceballs. Showing that they got the greeting right. I love Spaceballs.
Yeah. So there you go. It's looping now back around, but yeah.
This is the first time that we see Rick Moranis in years.
Yeah.
With the exception of him being knocked down to the ground, but
well, he's done a few things here and there, but yeah, this is his most public appearance, I guess you could say, in years, because he showed up there with the crew or the cast there of Spaceballs, the new one, is what they're calling it.
I'll give it a shot because it's Mel Brooks. His recent track record is not great, but
he doesn't have anything to do with writing it, though.
Yeah, I don't even care. Just it has Mel Brooks attached in any way. I'll give it a shake. Whatever.
He's in a cameo. He's in one cameo from what I know. I don't even know if he's showing up as Scroob, to be honest with you, because as far as I know, he's just showing up as Yogurt.
Yeah, I was about to say probably it's Yogurt, if anything, that he shows up as.
Yeah. That's.
I hate yogurt, even with strawberries.
Yeah. There's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry.
Well, the one thing to worry about is that Gad was involved in History of the World Part 2.
That's what I was going to
bring up.
Thank
absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the person behind this is Josh Gad.
And he's
that's
in
why
this
should we
one
fucking
too.
worry.
Well, and you know, they did an animated series that was not great either, and Mel Brooks was involved in that one.
Yes.
That was not great. There were a few episodes that were okay. It wasn't as unwatchable as people claim it was, but
there's like one good episode.
Yeah, definitely not his greatest hour.
The only real good episode I remember was they did a parody of the Phantom Menace with Lord Helmet when he was a kid. That was the only episode that I remember being that funny. In fact, the first two episodes, or the first two episodes, are literally just a retelling of the movie. Like the movie all over again. It's really a waste of time, and then you get into the actual show, and it's
the first movie was suffused with Jewish Yiddish jokes.
Right.
I hope that this has that also.
Yes.
Well, it originally was called Space Jews.
Yes, but they weren't allowed to use it.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, that should have been the title. Bro.
I know.
That was the original title. So the first details coming out are
now.
Yeah. We get a Navi pissing while Dark Helmet watches it with 3D glasses. Multiple sequel and trilogy jabs, including BB-8 turning into a box.
Okay.
Yogurt now has abs.
Is that transitioning technically, you think?
I guess. And then a slice of pizza is baby Pizza the Hut, which makes no sense because Pizza the Hut's been dead for 40 years. How could he have a baby?
He could have had a baby before that we didn't see. Maybe it's his grandkids. Well, who knows? I mean, the space pizza.
I don't know.
Maybe he franchised. What the hell? Who cares?
I mean, he was a mob boss. I'm sure he got around. I'm sure all the other pizzas found him a...
I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be satire, but...
Did he come in 20 minutes or less is my question.
Yeah. And, of course, you even have Bill Pullman's kid in here playing Daphne and Lone Star's kid, and then a bunch of other younger characters. So
it should have been Spaceballs, the circumcised version edition.
And I'm willing to put money that Josh Gad is going to play Barf Jr.
Oh, you know what? You're right. He's got the heft.
I think this is what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have kids.
Yes. That we know.
And now the real question, though, is it going to be better than all of the sequel trilogy?
Well, let's just say they have a lot to mine from.
Yeah.
Gary, you were nodding your head there.
Shaking my head in disbelief that we're even discussing this. I'm sorry, for me, this movie is a non-starter. It's a non-starter, in my opinion.
You're going to be surprised at how much this movie fucking makes, though. That's the sad part.
You think? I will. I'll take.
You want to know how I think? Because I'll tell you, of all the movies that Mel Brooks has done,
the original felt like juvenile humor. This one always feels like juvenile humor. There's nothing in the trailer excited about me at all. Nothing about the cast.
Gary.
The only thing I've ever loved is Mel Brooks, which is, the producers for Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles.
Oh, I'll agree with you all day long. It's not even Mel Brooks in his top 5, maybe even. It's definitely in the top, But here's the thing, and most people won't believe
Saturday Night Live sketch. You know what I mean?
Most people won't believe this, but this is the absolute fucking truth. This is Mel Brooks' biggest selling video.
I'm sure. I'm sure it is.
Bigger than Blazing Saddles, bigger than the rest.
Wow.
And it's one of MGM's biggest selling videos of all time.
And I hate to say it, it's not a very good movie. Spaceballs was not good.
That's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's all right. This movie is classic.
To a certain age group, Laserfist. But it came out way too late after Star Wars.
That is true.
That is very true.
What was it, like 85 or
87? This came out.
And that as a comedian bothered me. It should have been hot off the, it should have been right there. But Mel Brooks himself said he's a very lazy writer. Yeah. He used to, I guess, take it right to the very edge when he needed to actually write it. Someone would give him a pile of cash, and then he would delay until there was no time left to delay, and he would write it. So I don't know. I always felt that the parody of this came way, way too late after Star Wars. It was funny. I mean, I make fun of the Jewish jokes, but even then they were a bit hoary in their time. And I'm on Gary's side. I have my reservations. And if I have to use a phrase from Spaceballs, it could very well suck.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna suck, Paul. It's gonna suck.
Totally.
I guarantee you it's gonna suck, but it's still gonna probably make some money. That's the sad part.
If anything, this movie should have come out. Yeah, if that movie was so huge on sales, then why wasn't it made 15 years ago?
They wanted to.
Yeah, they teased it, and they did the little animated thing, which I think was a conciliatory gesture. They'd originally been developing a movie, and it didn't happen. And
why it didn't happen? Rick Moranis.
Yeah,
Rick Moranis and John Candy. That's the only reason it didn't happen. John Candy fucking died, and Rick Moranis retired to go raise his kids. So at that point, Mel Brooks is like, I can't do it without my 2 biggest stars.
Right.
Yeah. And just to address that, Tunnicliffe and Chato are, of course, right in their criticisms. The reason why I love it the way that I do, Tom likes it the way that he does. Razorfist. Arch, I don't know about you. Like, are you a big fan of Spaceballs at all?
I have actually never watched it.
I was going to say he's never seen it, I bet.
But anyway, here's the thing. Like, when I say that this is my Star Wars, I'm not joking, but it might be more accurate to say that this is, in a sense, my prequel trilogy. Because the reason that we, who are of the similar age, that we respond to it the way that we do is because of this juvenile humor that Gary so accurately pointed out. We were kids at the time, and we grew up with it. Same as those people who are fans of the prequel trilogy right now. They're the kids who grew up with it. So that's the level of affection that we have for it. I'm the first to admit that to me, it's just childhood nostalgia and affection. If I were to see this for the first time right now, it probably wouldn't do much to me. And I also think that Archcast, if you see Spaceballs right now, not having grown up with it, it's probably not going to do much for you. But when you were there at the time you grew up with it, it's gonna have an impact.
I actually did not grow up. Yeah, I would challenge that a little bit. I did not grow up with this at all.
Okay.
I wasn't allowed to see racy comedies growing up or whatever, so I didn't see this till probably I was in high school or something like that.
That's when I saw the original Star Wars.
Right.
I think most of the VHS sales for this was because of Norwegian ESL classes.
No.
It was a big seller on VHS in Norway, though. That VHS was everywhere. I'm surprised that Arch hasn't seen it, but
it's a well-meaning, goofy movie. I mean, I will completely give it that.
I mean, I couldn't believe it when I heard that too, but Mel himself has said it a few times that it's his biggest selling video. Believe it, bigger than Blazing Saddles, bigger than Young Frankenstein. Yeah.
And was it My Ding-a-Ling was Chuck Berry's
biggest hit.
And he was bitter about that. He was in
sometimes
all
you'll have
interviews,
that.
He was bitter. Now, I will say The Producers is one of the top 5 comedies of all time.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, that's the thing, Paul. As older as I got, that's when I learned. Like, I always liked Mel Brooks growing up, but I was Spaceballs, and the Men in Tights and stuff like that. That was new at the time. But the older I got, the more I appreciated. And now my favorite Mel Brooks movie is clearly Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
and Young Frankenstein close second, although that's more of a Gene Wilder film than it is a Mel Brooks movie at the same time.
My favorite Mel Brooks film is The Elephant Man, sir.
What was that?
My favorite Mel Brooks film is The Elephant Man, sir.
That's true. He did produce that and The Fly. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
He was a great producer, a great director. Again, I think there's a lot of nostalgia attached to this for you guys, But if you try and show a 23-year-old character, an old guy, which Rick Moranis is, in a giant plastic helmet called Dark Helmet, is it really going to fly?
Yes.
I mean,
I don't know. You have Gary. I totally understand where you're coming from, but you have this thing with this movie that it's a generational thing. It's almost like the thing that's kind of funny about this being Andre's Star Wars. It's almost like this was passed down to generations with the original Star Wars, but not the new stuff. I've known so many people with kids that have seen, the Star Wars movies, but they don't watch the new stuff at all. But they've seen Spaceballs and they're all aware of that stuff because it is kind of part of this.
People love the Flash Gordon movie, but it came out now.
But the thing is, it's kind of part and parcel with Star Wars now. It's kind of accepted into kind of like how people accept Galaxy Quest as a Star Trek movie now. Right. It's kind of part of that whole thing.
Third best.
The thing about Galaxy Quest is from day one that was a brilliant movie. There was nobody who saw that movie and went, man, it was great out of the box. It was lightning in a bottle and it worked straight away. There's a sequel I would rather have seen than Spaceballs. You know what I mean?
They tried.
Oh, don't get me wrong. They should leave this alone. Spaceballs 2 should never happen. See, that's the thing is we're all kind of in agreement here.
Oh,
but
yeah, totally.
The way where we're not in agreement is just like how big this is going to be because, I know that there's a.
When you say big, how big do you mean? How big? What
I think the opening weekend we're looking at least $60 to $75 million or more for a comedy.
Yeah, that sounds optimistic. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of buzz around this. Of all the stuff that's been coming out of Cinemacon, this is the stuff that I've seen the most stuff people talking about, mainly because of Rick Moranis. But that goes to what Gary's saying. There's a whole generation of people, unless they've grew up with Rick Moranis movies, who don't know who the fuck he is. And the big mistake he made was not doing at least a cameo in one of the last Ghostbuster movies, because that could have at least kind of put him back out there on the spot, because his Honey, I Shrunk the Kids remake didn't come to fruition, and that's why he didn't do Ghostbusters, I guess, but now he's doing this. And I don't know if this is going to be what he wants it to be for his, because I agree with you guys, like it's going to make money, but it's going to land like a wet fart. It's going to be worse than Coming to America 2.
Rick Moranis is and always has been a brilliant actor and a brilliant singer. I mean, Little Shop, everything he did was fantastic. He's a great actor, threw himself into everything. But his time's come and gone, and I mean, and it's pure nostalgia. Again, he's an old guy. He doesn't even look like Rick Moranis anymore, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not saying he can't make a comeback either, Gary, but I'm just not so sure this is the thing.
No, I'd love to see him do something, again, jamming actors into cameos in these movies always feels like an insult. Because it's like, you hire me as an actor or you hire me as a nostalgia bait, you know what I mean? And it's like, I was talking to someone about a property the other day and they were like, oh, you'd have to do this and put that actor in it. And I'm like, no, it's a disservice to them, you know what I mean? I'd love to see Rick do something just really, really good and original, like come back, like Brendan Fraser doing The Whale, Rick Moranis does something off kilter and does a great performance that we can all get behind, not, oh, here he is in Spaceballs, the movie. And if he's doing it for a paycheck, great, absolutely. God bless the guy, you know what I mean? He's been out of the business for a long time, but how many things is he going to do after this? And is this going to be his legacy? A Spaceballs sequel? Walking around. I mean, is this guy literally going to be walking around on set with a big plastic helmet on going, really, I came back for this? I don't know. It just, look, I'll pay my money. I'll go see it. And like I say, I'll use my own criticism against myself. It'll be bad, good, or indifferent, And
well, to answer
if it's
some
good,
of
I'll be the first person to say, you know what? I was wrong. I laughed my ass off. It was brilliant. And kudos to them. Mel Brooks has still got the magic juice. But I'll be honest, and I've worked with Josh Gad, but I did the wedding ringer with him, and
did you say that? Does he have the magic Jews? Did you? Is that what you said?
Jews, yeah, magic Jews.
I don't know.
Space Jews.
As I think I'm the only Jew on the panel, so I'm very sensitive to these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
as with everything, I'm always like, I'll wait and see. But
to answer just some of your questions, Gary, Rick is actually coming back to work. Like the whole thing was he left, as most people know, to raise his kids after his wife sadly passed away. And now that his kids are all grown up, he has slowly made his way back in. And like I said, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot or whatever was supposed to be his in with Josh Gad. Josh was supposed to play the kid from the original films, and it was supposed to be they were going to be looking for the dad. He shrunk himself or something like that. So and he was going to do that because he was going to be the main star otherwise. And I think that's why he turned down Ghostbusters. And then when that didn't come to fruition, this happened. And I think Rick's going to be in it quite a bit, because that's the only reason I think he's doing it is because he's picking it something he's going to be the main star in, because he's doing a big comeback now. So I know he's planning on continuing from here on out to be an actor. Hopefully it works out for him.
Love to see him come back in an original property that he creates a brand new character and owns, and rather than execs going, hey, we need to get that guy back in, it's like, just hire him because he's a great actor, and not because he's like, oh, well, he was in the original. It's like, to me,
sad part is Hollywood doesn't know how to do anything original anymore. And once they do, they forget how to do it. That's the problem.
True. You always say this, you guys, and it's not true. It's like, it's not original until they do something original, and everyone's like, whoa, that was really cool. It's like, look, you go back again. I've said it again and again and again and again. I know I get no love for this, but everyone raves about the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and there were shit movies then, and there are shit movies now. And every year there are X amount of movies made, and every year about 6 or 7 are decent. And if there was a magic formula, they'd be making hit movies all the time.
Don't get me wrong, Gary. My point is this. If Rick Moranis walked into an office and said, I have an original idea, me and Steve Martin getting back together doing this comedy, they'd be like, nah, we're not interested. But Rick Moranis walks in and says, I'll do Spaceballs too. They'll be like, where do we sign the fucking check? That's the problem with Hollywood today. Like, you're only going to get a Project Hail Mary once in a great fucking while anymore. That's the thing. That's the problem. I mean, yes, there's original properties, but most of them wind up on fucking streaming, and you've never heard of them, and you'll never hear them again. Like, I always
you'll only hear the ones that are good if they're decent.
If they're decent, but even that, you're still not getting the audience like you used to either. That's the problem.
Yeah, and like I said, and like Gary said, no one knows anything. K-pop Demon Hunter, no one thought was going to do anything. It should have been in.
I'm going to say something really dangerous now that is going to probably piss you.
You don't like K-pop Demon Hunter?
But this is where I'm going to put my neck on the line here now. This is where AI will help, because instead of having to take a risk on a script anymore, instead of having to literally say, have a bunch of people pick a movie and then get it made, we'll be able to literally behind closed doors take a script, make it in AI, and then watch it. And then if it's decent, then go away and remake it.
Yep.
As a proper film.
I agree.
You'll be able to literally proof it with a movie, not just reading a script and getting a vibe off it.
It's an amazing proof of concept.
Yep.
Basically, yeah. Imagine a world where you could retro this, and you bring in a bunch of people, you make an AI, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then all sit in a room and go, that's pretty good. Okay, who should we have play this Indiana Jones character? Call those people. You'll be able to proof. And what's scary as well is, instead of a bunch of screenwriters only be able to write movies. The next great movie could be written by a single mother of two living in a trailer park in Oklahoma, and might have the genius script that will never get off the ground, that you'll be able to proof test in AI and look at it and go, you know what, this is fantastic. We need to make this movie. So rather than just being scripts, it'll be actual physical media you can watch and test and then make it.
I have mentioned that it could be the future of pitching.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the kind of where I would push back on is the kind of person who uses AI to do something like that, even in an iterative context, is not the kind of person who's going to have all that original of an idea to begin with, or much talent to even bring it to fruition. So I
just think, again, I've always, I hear what you're saying, but I consider myself to be blessed with, geography. I was born in England and I was able to come to America where you can have a dream of making movies and do it. But if you're born in places or don't have the wealth or the means, who's to say that a great writer or a great screenplay person, it doesn't have a brilliant idea and a concept for a story that it just sits and lolls on a piece of paper or in their head, but they'll be able to literally make something and look at it. And maybe it's a short that gets made that then leads to a film. I just don't know. I just think in some ways, I think it's going to make, there's going to be a deluge of bad stuff. But again, the cream will rise to the top. It's, it's potentially, again, will Hollywood use it in a negative form? Of course they will, because you'll end up with corporate, people sitting in a boardroom coming up with ideas and pitches, and you'll get the Gremlins 2 effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the volume of bad stuff's never going to change. I read when I was head of TV comedy 1,100 scripts, okay, over 3 years. And if I had turned down every single one, I would have had a perfect record. But I had to greenlight some of it. I had no choice. But
now it'll be a case of watching 1,100 movies, maybe.
Which is going to be
a lot easier to say this is going to work or not, test it, But again, I think, I've got a whole slew of stuff I could say about AI, but I just think it's, there's the movie making thing of like, oh, there were so many better movies back then. Again, it's nostalgia based. It's like when I look at that billboard and see, RoboCop, Lost Boys, and so all at the same time. It was like, yeah, what an amazing time that was.
The only pushback I would have, Gary, is that the top 2 films that were nominated for Oscars wouldn't even make the list 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Of course not.
And I will say this, and I love your optimism, Gary, because you bring in, every time you're here, you always have this optimism that a lot of us never have.
I'm pessimistic.
Whatever you want to call it. Like you have also, but you also in the industry, so you have that perspective as well. But the thing is like for years, of course, in Hollywood, through the beginning, it was all producer driven or basically studio driven stuff. And then in the 1960s, late 60s, leading into the 70s, it started becoming more director driven, and the directors started becoming more of the creative force. But now all of a sudden we're back again to where the producers are the one who are deciding more of the creativeness again. I think that's another problem we have here is they're not letting the creatives create. And maybe in more smaller projects, but when it comes to this bigger stuff, I mean, how often do we keep hearing?
Therein lies the rub, because AI will allow the directors to make their thing their way and then show it. You know what I mean? So directors will be able to bystep the producers in some ways, as the producers will also be able to bystep the directors and the creatives, which they've wanted to do for years. They want to get us out of the picture any way they can. You know what I mean? But it will allow directors to also literally, and I see it. Guys, I go into meetings all day long. And in the old days, you'd go into a meeting for creature movies, and there'd be a bunch of different designs done by Crash McCreery and George Shell and Neville Page. And now it's a bunch of mid-journey stuff laid on the table. You know what I mean? We see it. It's already, every exec who can type in prompts is doing their own creature designs. But I mean, but in some ways, like I say, it also lends a hand to the directors, because they can then create something and show it and see, this is going to work. But it is. I spoke to a director the other day. We were just talking about a film that's coming out very soon, and we were, moaning about the kind of producer involvement, where you're kind of given the chance to do what you want to do, and then it's picked apart and cut up after you've walked away or after they let you go.
Right.
So it's incredibly frustrating, and again, like the old days of the directors in the 70s who would be like, "Get the fuck off my set," you know what I mean? That doesn't happen anymore. They don't throw execs off. They don't have, who has final cut now? You know what I mean?
I don't know. They do still have some autiste directors who can pull that, but their movies suck and are overrated. So those kind of people do exist, but they're a dying breed. And
yeah, I mean, I go back to music. I always go back to music. It's like there's no good music until there's great new bands that come out. You know, and it's like again, the thing to me that's always great about music is you're hearing the music the band wanted to make. No one's tampering with it. I mean, of course, you get your Def Leppards and your Mutt Langs where they're sitting there and massaging the hell out of it. But a lot of stuff like the Ron Eversons and the Martin Birches would literally take a band and mold them and and bring out the best of them. And that's supportive producing. Good. What can I give you to make you have your vision rather than don't you think we should have this in there and you need this and you need that. And we don't have those producers around anymore. Those the classic producers who were, I'm going to protect you. You're my director. I'm going to tell the studio this is what you're going to do. And I believe in you. Now it's like everyone's just terrified that they're going to lose their job.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, let's see what you guys are talking about out there in the chats. We got some super chats piling up here, and that's a good thing. Wi-Fi sends in 5 to say, speaking of pulps, what do you guys think of the King Conan movie being greenlit with Arnie? I don't trust Hollywood, and this movie is 15 plus years overdue. Well, we did talk a little bit about this already on the show, and we had a video where we released some insider info on it. This movie isn't as done of a deal as Arnie says it is. That's what we learned. Yeah, I'd love to hear Chuck and Razor's opinions on this because we haven't got to hear from them on this movie, and of course the rest of the panel as well. But specifically because Chuck has written some Conan stories and comics before and done stuff with Conan.
Well, this movie treatment has come around like a bad case of the clap several times, right? Like several times. When was the last one? Like 2015 or something like that?
Andre stepped away, but of course he knows the history of this. So like this one that they're doing now is a reworking of something else. It's not the one that was on the table for the longest time,
right?
Because that was a reworking of a completely unrelated novel that was not Conan,
right?
But yeah, so this I guess is not as far along as Arnie is kind of making it out to be. But yeah, I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts on this. Finally, possibly getting a King Conan with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, Arnold's kind of infamous for announcing projects before they're done deal. So, this is probably another one.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you even structure this? Is this like frame narrative type thing? And you are basically seeing a young Conan actor in flashback the whole time, and the old man Conan has his own plot line going all throughout that you kind of weave back and forth. You sort of ping pong back and forth. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. There is definitely a watchable way to do it, for sure. Do I trust a modern Hollywood producer and director to make that happen? No, I saw the Red Sonja film. Thank you very much.
Well, at least this has Ralph McQuarrie behind it. Or Christopher McQuarrie, not Ralph McQuarrie. Christopher McQuarrie. Yeah, as far as I know, Arnold's supposed to be in it the whole time. It's about him having to fight for his kingdom or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what you do is he gets usurped, thrown off the throne, has to fight his way back against all odds. I mean, there's your movie. I mean, it's not rocket science.
It sounds like what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's one of those. It was one of those flicks where the audience is going to skew older because they have nostalgia for this, and also they like it when old guys, get back on top. So, if they can, it could happen. But like I said, Arnold's always announcing things way before they're ready to come out of the oven.
I'm still waiting for Twins 3 with Eddie Murphy.
There you go.
I love Eddie telling that story. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. He's like, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger told me he wants to be in Twins 3. I'm like, but I'm like 20 years younger than you and Danny. He's like, it's okay. We'll come up with something. It'll make sense. Don't worry. It's like, that is why we haven't gotten Twins 3 yet, guys.
We're waiting on
Twins 2. I mean, not 3.
Right.
Where they're just going to
triplets is what it's supposed to be called.
Yeah, they were going to skip Twins 2.
It's going to be called triplets. That's where I was getting myself confused. But what were you saying, Razorfist? Sorry.
No, Jingle All the Way Part 2 is what I'm waiting on. Let's get that.
Put the cookie down.
I'm saying.
Oh. Actually, there was a French franchise, Bryce the Nice, about a surfer, and they just skipped the first sequel. There's a Bryce the Nice 1 and a Bryce the Nice 3.
Nice.
And they make like oblique references in the third movie to this other movie that was never made.
That was never made. I love it. I love it, dude.
I see I'm back right in perfect time.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually have to go. Sorry about that, guys. I actually have to go to a doctor's appointment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing I came back.
Yeah, I was like, shit, Andre better get his ass back here. I gotta go. So I wish I could stick around, but I do have to go. So thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate everybody showing up on short notice. Happy birthday to Andre and Chuck and Paul and everybody else who's celebrating a birthday today. Thank you so much for being here. I got to check out. Take care of yourselves. But the show is going on, so until Andre's ready to shut her down.
Yeah, indeed. We also.
It's good to see all you guys again.
Always a pleasure.
Well, yeah. Good luck at the doctor, and I guess that you spoke about this already. King Conan movie being greenlit. I don't know how greenlit it is. We'll just have to wait and see. I know that Arnie is talking a lot about it. I know that it is in development, but you'll note that all the information that is out there is coming from him. I don't believe it's going to happen until I hear it and formally announced by the studio. What I heard from my source, and you all know who my source is, the owner of Conan. This is very, very early days. So
if I was Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'd be buying out batches of tickets for He-Man right now.
Yeah.
Make sure that weekend's really, really good for He-Man. Otherwise, your Conan movie ain't happening at all.
It's funny you should mention that, because last time around when he was doing a King Conan movie, that was like 10 years ago. What killed that was the underperformance of Terminator Sega Genesis at the time. Was the movie that killed that one.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for real. Yeah, it was Universal that had the rights at the time. And they were like, okay, fine. Everything is ready to go. We just want to see how this Terminator movie is working out. And if that's
so funny, that is so unfair, because by then Terminator had so much baggage, so many bad sequels. I mean, that's just unfair.
But I have to tell you this, Rosie. This is funny.
Yeah, do share.
I was on the inside of Terminator Genesis, and the amount of belief they had in that project before it came out, they were ready to greenlight 2 new movies and a whole TV series. They were like, this is it. It's gonna happen. Here we go.
Dude, after Salvation,
going up to the top, it's about to drop. We're gonna make so much money, and you know.
And that was after the whole Christian Bale meltdown, Salvation thing, and the dude that freaking franchise was tanked before that. I don't know why on earth did they think it was going to do that well.
It's really funny because between you have Terminator Salvation, you have Terminator Sega Genesis, and you have Terminator The Woke Fate, and those 3 movies are a trilogy of intended trilogy starters that never went anywhere.
Seriously, never became anything.
Yeah. And I hope...
And then they tried everything. They tried every trick in the book. They tried to, tell us that Jim Cameron was writing it and involved and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man. And like I say, I know the fact on Genesis as well that I know the writer very, very well. And he's like, that isn't the movie I wrote in the end. You know, they said the first thing they did was they, like in the trailer was show the bad guys, for Christ's sake. You know, it's like, well, that was a dumb idea. You know, it was just again. But if you would not believe, literally 3 days before, how much belief they had in that release. And we're like, it's going to be this and this and this, and we're going to go on and do that. And it was like all of the gears were in motion, and they were just ready to drop the hammer on this giant weekend when it happened. And of course, it wasn't a great movie. And you'd have to take a genius to sit in that cinema and go, "This isn't good. It just isn't good, guys." You know.
That kind of throws water on your theory that if the producers get to watch AI-produced movies from pitch scripts, they'll pick good ones.
absolutely.
See what they do to good scripts now. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of good scripts, we are unfortunately losing a good panelist here. Mr. Chato has to leave us.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Well, it's very, very exciting and great to meet Gary and Razor Fist. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And
it's always good to hang with my favorite space Jew.
Yes. I have space lasers that I haven't used in a while.
By the way, way to break with type. A TV executive who's Jewish. Way to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? Why not break the mold?
Indeed.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us today. Which video of yours should the audience be checking out?
Well, I will have a video today on my Appalling News channel. The top item is going to be the city of Toronto has instituted a program of racist trees. I'm not joking. Our communist mayor Chairman Chow has decided that white neighborhoods are not going to be prioritized for planting of trees. Only neighborhoods featuring our favorite victim audience will get trees. So that's going to be my top item. We're going to be talking about the gentrification of bringing white oaks into black locust areas.
I thought the only racist trees were the ones with nooses on them. I thought that was.
Yeah, well, there's. I'm not going to rewrite my piece to include that.
Okay.
We don't have the same history in Canada as you have in the United States. Let me say
your sheets are in the cleaners. Gotcha.
Anyways, so I've got that, and I do have an AI song out there. If you could spread the word, check it out on my Call Me Chato. It's called "I'm a Cadaver in a Cop Show." So it's a very funny song, and I used Suno, experimented with it to see what I can do, because I can't sing worth shit. So I had someone who could sing. Substitute. I wouldn't, as a comedian, I would have never been able to produce this on my own without this kind of. But everything else is my work on it. So, anyway,
you can't sing. That never stopped Bob Dylan. Go for it.
He can sing. He can hold a note. I can't sing worth crap. No, you don't want to hear me sing. Anyways, gentlemen, a pleasure. This was so much fun, and hopefully we'll run into each other again. Talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, take care. And Chuck, how long do you have?
I'm good.
Okay, good. Then we'll run through a few more super chats, and then we'll talk your latest upcoming work here. But going back to super chat, Michael Thomas says for $5, thanks for the show. The old 70s movie Laser Blast was rumored to be cover for a drug running operation. Yeah, I'm sure that's happened a few times.
Nice.
PJO 1961 says, I wish I still had all those 80s He-Man. You mean the toys? Yeah, it's going to be expensive to reacquire, especially in the conditions they were then. Chris says for $2, Chuck, how many comics you doing in the Rippaverse?
I'm doing Alpha Core and the Horsemen on a regular basis, and then occasionally we're going to have a Zaylan one shot.
Yeah. And Cypher Chaos says, admit it, Racer. You like Hellraiser 3 because Teddy Farrell is in it, right?
You freaking, as reasons go, man, it's not a bad one.
Yeah. It also has
people
Paul
talk
and
about 7 of 9, freaking Dax. Forget about it. There's no one hotter in Star Trek.
Well, Jolene Blaylock may disagree.
With yeah, you're right. That poor girl. Jeez, that poor girl.
Well, poor girl. I mean, she married super rich and just retired, didn't she? Or am I missing something?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm referring more so to her career after that.
Oh, I think she volunteered. I think like she married a billionaire or something, and then she chose to retire. Is what I think.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like she hasn't done anything in the fan circuit or whatever because she doesn't need to. It's my understanding.
She's done one or two little conventions here or there, but she doesn't need the money, so she doesn't do it.
Oh, exactly. Valentine Puppy Says, fuck, Motu 2026. Waited generations for this. How much longer? Oh, you just stick with the fan fiction and the comics, because for the kind of movie that you want, that you would all want. Well, of course, you can't do what Tonicliff suggested and AI it. That's probably the best course of action, because otherwise you're never going to get it. And then we have one for my countryman. Marksman says, Arch, recommend Space King to these guys.
Space King has kind of become Warhammer 40k's version of Spaceballs, I guess. It's actual satire, which has long been a very dead art form.
Well, let's see if a scary movie can fix that. Maybe we'll get Space King yet.
Yeah.
Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says, happy birthday, everyone. Indeed. And Hyperguyver wonders, Racer, new Shadowcast when? We're starving here.
It's funny. I've read like 3 different pulp stories, and I just haven't sat down and recorded the podcast to review them or whatever. But I read like 3 new Shadow. I was just reading one earlier today. The Dead Live. That was a freaking great one. But yeah, so I need to do another one.
Yeah. And Ruby Hoof gifted a membership, and we thank you, and so does whoever claimed it. And Tennille says for $5, Mel Brooks is like one of the few remaining living World War II vets too, isn't he? Other than Paul. I mean, I know he was there for Caesar's conquest of Gaul. Yeah. Mr. Chato has been around for a long time, and I love listening to his stories from the campfires in the olden days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tracking down the Imperial Eagle, that kind of thing.
Indeed. Tennille also says, happy birthday, Andre. Oh, thank you. New member stream coming soon. And Dark Hero Fant has been a member for 27 months. And Chuck Henry has been a member for 42 months. Then we have Dark King, who says for $5 Australian, I want a 1980s sword and sorcery version of The Expendables. All of the fantasy axe and blood movies mashed into one. Yeah, then may as well call it Golden Axe and do a video game adaptation and do it complete.
So
yeah.
What? Guy from Sword and the Sorcerer, King Arthur from
Barbarian Brothers.
Right. I love that movie. That's awesome.
Beastmaster, of course.
Yeah.
I actually have it out there, and all the stuff I haven't unpacked it. I do have the Barbarians. We're starring the Barbarian Brothers.
Or just make it an 80s fantasy thing and have David Bowie's great big moose knuckle in there the whole time. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. With that, we are caught up with the super chats. However, we have something else to talk about today. More specifically, we have some writing to discuss. Chuck, tell us about giant-sized, two-fisted manly tales. I mean, that's quite the title right there.
Yeah, this is number 2. There was a number 1, but this one actually reprints a project that Butch Geis and I did for Wildstorm back in the 2010s. And it tells the story of the invasion of Japan in January 1946, the history event that almost happened. It starts out with the failure of the Manhattan Project, and it forces the United States to go it alone and invade the Japanese home islands. And it's a 144-page graphic novel showing what might have been based on the declassified plans for Operation Olympus, which would have been the amphibious landings on the Japanese home islands, and also the declassified defense plans that the Imperial Japanese had to fight for literally every inch of the islands.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Yeah, the link for that is in the description, of course. So everyone, be sure to check that out. Anything more to say about it? How long? Like 7 days to go to get
we got 7.
Yeah,
we're in our final week of funding. I mean, we're doing pretty good, but we'd always like to do better.
Absolutely.
And, it is a pretty good deal. This thing's been out of print for almost like 18 years. So it's a chance to get it, and it's some of Butch's best work. This is a real passion project for both of us.
Nice.
And we were lucky enough to get a creator-owned deal at DC Comics, and they reverted the rights to us last year. And
oh, that's great.
Yeah, we went to Compass Comics, and Graham Nolan jumped all over it. So
oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So do check that out. I'll be checking it out myself. I'm a big fan of Chuck Dixon, as you all know, one of the best both Conan and Punisher writers out there ever was. In addition to everything else, even the Phantom that we spoke about earlier today. So
And you wrote the last issue of Sojourn, for which I am eternally grateful.
Yeah. I was like the last writer in the building.
Yeah,
CrossGen was so underrated.
They were like pulling the copper wiring out of the walls while you
Seriously,
were
I think Disney rolled up the carpets when they bought the place.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was tragic. I mean, CrossGen was something special.
Yeah, it's like a European comic company in America, kind of.
Yes, exactly.
Nobody will ever do it again.
No,
unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Which, by the way, if you guys have not heard the interview with the guy who ran CrossGen, Mark Alessi, from a few years ago, just like a year before he died or something. Oh, it's genius. It's like he cuts a promo on everyone, the entire industry. It is classic.
He was a trip, man. That guy was a trip.
Yeah, he was. Oh man, what a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with him right up until he died. I mean, I was supposed to have a meeting with him like 2 days after he died, and I saw him the day before he died, and he was a cantankerous, prickly pear right to the end.
Love it.
Yeah, well, he had reason to be. Well, with that, we are actually fully caught up on everything, and we've been going for more than 3 hours. It's been a while since we had a 3-hour stream, but I'm glad that all of you gentlemen were able to be here and make it as cool and as good as it was. Especially some of you that we haven't seen in a long time. Tunnicliffe, it's been a while, so I'm very glad to have you on the panel again. Hopefully, it won't be as long till next time. But you're back in LA now, full time, aren't you?
I am. I'm back in LA full time, and I'm one of the few people actually working. So.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
But I've kind of sidestepped. I'm actually designing and building these pieces for pinball machines. I designed a topper for Evil Dead pinball machine, and now we're doing Beetlejuice, and we're doing some other ones. And
cool.
So, and then I just did this. I did a film called Widow last year. We did some creature effects for that. And then this Corporate Retreat movie, which is this little tiny movie that seems to have legs. And then apart from that, like I say, my whole year this year is going to be, I've got my tickets for Wasp. I've got my tickets for Iron Maiden, so I'm going to see various bands as they come through LA, which is always
Did
great.
you hear, by the way, Iron Maiden have been snubbed for so long by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm just hoping that Bruce holds up to it and tells them to go fuck themselves.
Well, they finally got elected to the Hall of Fame. They're accepting it, but they're on tour in Australia, and they just told the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to fuck themselves, and they're not going to show up. They're just going to send their ex-drummer over to accept their award, and they're going to be out entertaining the fans.
I'm sure Blaze Bailey will turn up as well, because Blaze will be very happy to. But maybe, I have a question for you, Razor. Here's a question for you regarding Iron Maiden, and sorry to push all the other guys out for a second, but if they take a year off as they're planning to, do you think Bruce will come back?
Do I think Bruce will come back? Yeah, I think he's still enjoying it. Yeah, I don't get any indication that he's not going to. We'll see. We'll see. They are definitely getting way up in age and whatever. I just saw like Steve Harris turned how much? Like they're all quite old.
This is the factor that's good that you have to remember about them is they have credibility, and Steve will know when to knock it on the head and say, guys, like we're not going to be that band. We're not going to be like Scorpions still trying to push it up the hill. You know what I mean? It's like, and Klaus and the guy should have knocked it on the head a couple of years ago. And it's good that I love Priest, but guys, it's time. You know what I mean? You've got to know when that steak is cooked.
Yeah. I'm not sure. We'll see about Bruce. Plus, Bruce still does solo stuff, so you never know if he's going to come back.
I just wondered if after a year they'll be like, you know what, guys, we had that Run for Your Lives was amazing, and it was a fantastic tour, and maybe we go out like this. You know what I mean? And Steve will do British Lions, and Bruce will do his thing. And
their last album, surprisingly, it was like the first one to not hit the top 40 in the UK. I think since the 80s, something like that. So which Iron Maiden is normally just a slam dunk on that kind of stuff. And here's the thing, they've been releasing really bad albums for a number of years now.
Ever since Martin Birch passed away.
And getting away with it basically because they just have the most hardcore fans on planet Earth. That's really what's going on with Iron Maiden at the end of the day. So they were kind of cruising. It's probably musically time. I appreciate that they're making new music, but the new music they're making really, really sucks. So if they were to write
I go back to that classic thing of a good producer, you know. And I'm sorry, I don't think Kevin Shirley's a great producer. I think Martin Birch is great, and I think Kevin Shirley.
Did you watch my Metal Mythos on Iron Maiden?
Yes.
Where literally Kevin Shirley is being interviewed, and he's saying, yeah, we were supposed to master the album, which is like the basic thing you do right before you release a commercial product.
Sounded live.
But we went ahead and just released the demo, essentially. We didn't master it. We put the record out flat into record stores. That's the kind of shit that's been happening with Iron Maiden the last several years. Just the laziness. Wow. It's unbelievable.
If only Martin Birch was still alive, I'd just love him to produce Powerwolf. I'd love to see what Martin Birch would have done with Powerwolf. To me, that would have been a match made in heaven. But sorry, guys, to go on the metal.
No, it's all good. This is what we do. So yeah, it's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last. But we have been going on for quite a while. We're going to let you all go. I wanted to say thanks to everyone who's been here, who's been watching. Thanks to the panel. Be sure to check out those that had to bow out already. Links for everyone is in the description. Archcast, my friend, so glad that you could join us here today.
My pleasure.
I was wondering, where's more Norwegian news? Yeah, it's coming from both of us very, very soon. So yeah, we've been occupied, but things is happening, and yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff for you all to hear about, which was very frustrating for us to live through. But yeah.
Andre, you have to schedule me for the week after the Mandalorian releases.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to. Yeah, for sure. Anytime.
I want to be there, and we'll see who's right and who's wrong, and whether you guys like it or not.
Yeah, indeed. But before then, Arch, anything in particular you want to plug on the way out the door?
Let's see. Released a new video today about the Scouring of the Shire, that old part at the end of The Lord of the Rings, which I reread recently on a whim. And man, it reflects modern society incredibly well. And it's a damn shame we didn't get it in the movies, because I think it would have woken up a lot more people a lot earlier, as they would have looked around and saw that the ruffians were in fact in charge.
Fantastic. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Also check out Real Nordic Noir for those that haven't done so already. Link for that should be in the description. That's the channel where me and Arch team up to take down Norway, which is very much so needed. Razor Fist, it's been a pleasure to have you here. It's been a way too long, my friend. We need to do this again, talk some more pulp, more genre stuff going on, especially now when the news on the Phantom may be heating up. Meanwhile, what else should people be checking out over at your page?
Yeah, shoot. I'm on X now as Razor Fist without a zero. I got my freaking zero gone finally. I'm actually Razor Fist on social media. So you can beard me there. I just put out a video on, because, man, I was laid up for a couple of weeks because I had a surgical procedure and whatever. But I finally got around to recording a video. And in the interim, while I was laid up, while I was convalescing, they announced the new ex-boss, the person over at Microsoft who's essentially an H-1B diversity hire, who's a former AI executive. So I just did a rant about that and all of the particulars and the just unremitting carousel of failure that has been modern Xbox. So go check that out. I just dropped that, I don't know, yesterday or the day before. So yeah, and we're going to be streaming tonight as well.
Yeah, indeed. Gary, it's been way too long. So glad to finally have you back on stream. Of course, we've been speaking in private. It was really, really good to catch up with you. We'll do so again. Look forward to having you on again. Certainly when the Mandalorian comes out or in the aftermath of that. But hey, anytime, set me up.
Very welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It's always fun to chat with you guys. And like I say, I've actually, it was good. I'll say no more. It was good. Fantastic. Fine. Bye.
Fantastic. Yeah. And Chuck, of course, always a pleasure to have you on. And everyone, be sure to check out the link in the description for Mr. Dixon's latest work. Anything else you want to plug before we leave?
No, not really. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff I can't talk about, and I just wanted to ask Razorfist when he's going to write another Western, because I really enjoyed that first one.
I already wrote it. It's the finding an artist that's the pain in the butt.
Oh yeah. There's a problem.
Because I'm I was very particular about the kind of artist that I wanted, because I was so inspired by the European artists, BD artists.
Get with me. I might have some people for you to look at.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that would be nice, because I could do it myself. I can draw in that style. It's just I'm very writing it plus illustrating it. That doubles the time that it takes to do the whole thing. But I'm already like 2-3 volumes ahead. I wrote.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I wrote like a fiend on that one. So.
Oh, yeah. You write like I do.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic. All right. Well, you all have your homework ready with all the work. Of course, just go into the IMDb, check out Tunnicliffe's work. That's a lot to get into right there. Gary, anything in particular recent that you want people to check out, or should we all just look forward to Spider Noir?
Of everything I don't do that much film stuff these days, but but I'm gonna write I was thinking about reading the what do they call it? The indices at the end of a book, the index stuff at the end of a book. I was thinking I'd read the Lord of the Rings one and make a movie of that, because it's the only thing they haven't made from that book. They're trying to turn into a fucking movie. So, someone should do that.
I think I'm actually going to make a movie out of the dust jacket on the inside.
Yeah, there you go. Dust jacket, Lord of the Rings, the movie. There you go. I'll co-write that. That sounds great.
I probably would
in that one.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that Lord of the Rings, the dust jacket, probably would be better than Rings of Power anyway.
That's a good point.
With that, gentlemen, it's time to roll on out. I wish you all a great weekend, let's bring on the koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No fucks given.